Bomb on the bridge with a Tycon flow snap, vivid like the Nikon. Been cold but the vibe warm, keep it locked like the vice arm. They got her twisted like the coat arm, heart something froze like the snowstorm. Her tote bag match her throat charm. She from the land of the sand where they flex so subtle when her drink mint muddle. Left home in her man in the game that he played for the sand of the shade. She parades you to square in her shades. She like why you do that, niggas be deceptive. Young pretty restless, long as a check is addressed to a residence. She self-heal therapy, she retail on clearance, but she shopping for clarity. Reap what she sold for the dividend. Know what time is the medicine, copping the wristwatch Cartier with the bezel on her credit. Demanding hers where it's due. I swear she's so sadistic, defensive, pessimistic, reclusive. She too lit, independent. She too quick to dismiss courtship, concerned with malice. She pile up as the bout ends. She throws a talent. She clutch a half full chalice. Sip you from fountains. Check her rap. She chic, maneuver mountains. Fly away with you. Escape the negative. I'm just trying to let it fly away with you. Escape the negative. I'm just trying to let it. So girl, come on, let's fly. Girl, come on, let's fly. I let the thumbnail distract me from the bigger picture. Losing sanity to misplaced feelings. Real shit kept deep in her makeup bristles. Hotline blink, she sent 1,000 kisses. I just tripped, I sold 1,000,000 tickets. I'm way too focused on this image lately. My mind is racing, looking miles a minute. No time to slide, I guess I'm bad with distance. I never text you back, lately my thoughts they drifted around the shots to keep us all from losing who we are. We're products of a generation where we swiping left across the interfaces. Out my mind, I tend to be evasive. Yeah. All the notice how the money made us. Girl, come on, let's fly. Girl, come on, let's fly. Girl, come on, let's fly away. Girl, come on, let's fly. Girl, come on, let's fly. Girl, come on, let's fly.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everybody who is in the building. It's good to see each and every one of you. If you guys can hear me okay and everything is looking good, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me or the visual is looking bad, then give me a thumbs down or an angry face and I'll work on it. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody who's in the building. We got Lloyd Sky 9. What's good with it, bro? We got Win Loser Rug. Shout out to you. We got Volvo 2 Love. What's good? We got Catsy in the house. Shout out to Catsy. Throw some like enforcers in the chat for DBB. Shout out to Val Williams. It's good to see you. We got Miss Nisi, and shout out to Miss Nisi. Everybody show Miss Nisi some love for her birthday. And Miss Nisi, throw your Cash App tag if you got one in the chat, and I'll post it up where it usually says BLR2. And everybody shoot Miss Nisi some birthday ducats. That'd be what's up. So make sure y'all show her some love. Let's get that Cash App popping. I'm going to put it up on the screen, and we're going to get Miss Nisi paid on her birthday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Miss Nisi. We appreciate you. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. What's good with it, Brooklyn Queen? We got Jerry Bedford in the building. We got Carla. How you doing, Carla? We got my man Jesse. Shout out to you, bro. Who else we got up in here? We got MC. Good to see you, MC. Let me see. It's looking like that's it. Shout out to y'all. Good to see y'all. All right. So, shout out. Did I say shout out to Brooklyn Queen? What's good with it, Brooklyn Queen? All right, yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So we're gonna talk about Diddy. All right, we're gonna talk about a lot of this stuff that's going on with Diddy, and there's a whole lot of information, not a lot of time. So I'm gonna be trying to run through this as quick as possible. All right. The first thing that I want to say is, if you ask me, there's like this really weird, interesting narrative that's going around about quote unquote people defending Diddy, and you know, I guess the people who are defending Diddy are trying to say that, you know, everybody is dogpiling and, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, cooning or whatever. Here, shout out to Tedra. What's good with you, Tedra? Here's my thing, right? Anybody that has heard any comments that I've ever made about Diddy, I literally have never said that I know definitively that Diddy is guilty, right? What I've talked about for the most part is my past knowledge of Diddy and his past relationships with people, and that he doesn't do right by people. And a lot of times when people don't do right by people, when they take advantage of people, a lot of times they get away with taking advantage of people so long that a pattern develops, and then the pattern tends to expose himself. It's not jumping on with the mainstream media. It's not, you know, alleging that Diddy is, you know, doing all this. Even in my words of my stream last time, shout out to Ryan Glenn. What's good with it, bro? Even in my stream last time, I said, I don't know if I can compare Diddy to quote unquote Epstein. That, shout out to MC Fact. What's good with you, bro? But what I said was, you know, Diddy got a pattern of being weird. And when it comes to Diddy and his past relationships with anybody, who is out there that's saying Diddy did right by them? Me asking that question doesn't have anything to do with me saying he's guilty of current allegations. I got another, the reason why I chose to do the video for Diddy on this channel is because I got another Diddy video that I did on this channel, and I'm gonna link it when all the in-stream stuff is done, so people can check out the last video about Diddy as they're watching this on the replay. But I think that discussing Diddy and his past behaviors, Diddy and how he's done all of his label mates, Diddy and how he's done all of his artists, that's not necessarily jumping on with the narrative that the mainstream media is trying to push. But what we have going on is content creation policing for people trying to control the narrative. And you're not going to control me, and you're not going to control how I decide to talk about P. Diddy. You know what I'm saying? P. Diddy is a clown. P. Diddy has done harm by people. People haven't been paid properly by P. Diddy, and that's what it is. And it's a lot of shady, weirdo behavior surrounding P. Diddy. And I don't understand how you could be in the political arena and support somebody who blatantly tried to do the actual derailing of internal politics. Shout out to my man Jay Bird. What's good with you, bro? Y'all remember when Diddy tried to hijack the political movements? pre-Biden. If y'all remember that, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't remember that, give me a thumbs down. Just off those bases alone, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, how do you support this dude? You know what I'm saying? And then my thing is too, all the people that's like, yo, this dude is on his own. If he on his own, then why is there anybody trying to say anything as far as on his behalf? If he's on his own, then it should play out how it plays out, right? If y'all agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. If he alone, then it should play out how it plays out. So what you have is you have people trying to get out in front of it, and you have people trying to say things that are being said or attach you to allegations about P. Diddy when we've made none of the allegations that the feds or any of them have made. And, you know, like I said, I'm not intimidated by none of these larger YouTubers. I'm not intimidated by none of these smaller YouTubers. I really don't care who's saying what. I'm going to say how I feel about it. And my thing is that for the most part, like Neely Fuller Jr. says, your work really dictates your outcome. So if P. Diddy is actually allegedly somehow doing right by people, then I guess the work will show that. But so far, if you ask me, P. Diddy's work has shown that he's not really a high quality person. And if he's not really a high quality person, then usually low quality actions tend to occur. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of it. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just real weird with a lot of the stuff that you see. What do y'all think? If y'all agree with that, then give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't agree with that, then give me a thumbs down. All right. Shout out to Q Hefner. What's good with it, bro? So, how many people will remember when your boy Cat Williams exposed Diddy? Well, he didn't necessarily expose Diddy. He basically predicted that Diddy would, quote unquote, get exposed. Now, here goes my question, right? We're going to talk about the current allegations as we get a little bit deeper in the stream. My question for you guys is, do you all think that he's guilty? And it's perfectly okay to just ask if you think that he's guilty. Nobody's sitting here saying that he is. Nobody's sitting here saying that he shouldn't have a trial or none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because he should. You know what I'm saying? He should have a trial. But I'm just curious as to people who follow him. What do y'all think about this? If y'all think that he's guilty, then give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't think that he's guilty, then give me a thumbs down. All right. Me personally, like I said, it's really difficult for me to call because he's been involved in so many things. And a lot of times, usually when there's a pattern of weirdness, a lot of times there's a reason why that pattern of weirdness exists. Those kind of patterns, they don't just occur for no reason. So what we're going to do is we're going to backtrack on a lot of things. We're going to take a look at Diddy. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see what he been doing. We're going to look at some of the allegations. How many people knew that he was in Miami? They recently spotted him in Miami at Top Golf. I don't know about that. Shout out to Cassie. Anybody hear about that? I don't know about that. I never heard that. Cassie asked, did he do that? I'm not sure. I never heard that. You know what I'm saying? I really hope that he didn't. Shout out to my man KO Kid Fit. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to KO Kid Fit. KO Kid Fit said, what's good, bro? I gotta get my membership back. Some scammers Diddy my account. Oh no, that ain't no good, bro. That ain't no good. That ain't no good. Shout out to Ryan Glenn. Ryan Glenn said 50-50 with the civil lawsuit, but I don't know what the Fed raid is all about. Maybe it's related to the Keefe D thing. Doubtfully the civil thing. Yeah, I agree. My thing is, I think that if the Fed, if he was actually guilty of something, not only would the Feds have raided his places of business and his estates, but he'd be in custody right now. they'd have had a warrant for his arrest as well as whatever kind of evidence that they're looking for. So right now they're still gathering evidence. And for the most part, if they're still gathering evidence, in most cases, that means that they don't have enough to actually get him into the courtroom. So they're putting the pressure on him, maybe to see if some information slips out, maybe to see if they could organize some certain things to make him look a certain way. But I don't think that they have anything definitive on him as of right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they have anything definitive on him as of right now. The mainstream media, for the most part, is bringing up old things. I don't know where people are getting these quote unquote allegations from, because I don't know if there's been anything that definitively says he's been involved in sexual trafficking activities. Has there been any piece of evidence that has said that he's done that? Let me know in the chat if there is. I haven't seen that piece of evidence. If there was a definitive piece of evidence, I think that every video about that would be going viral. Every post about it would be going viral. Every Instagram live stream or reel would be going viral about it. And that hasn't happened yet. For the most part, what we got right now is just a bunch of repeat information and a bunch of repeat accusations and a bunch of repeat speculation. And that is all bad for your name and making you look bad, but it's not really something that's going to put you in jail. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Viral rumors don't put people in jail. In most part, WS, you know what I'm saying, the court system and what they find in the court system and how they manipulate or interpret the legal system is what puts you in jail for the most part. You know what I'm saying? And real quick, shout out to y'all, man. We got a good amount of people in this bad boy early. I appreciate all y'all being in here. If you guys have not done this yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. I definitely appreciate it. Let's try to get the likes up to like 50. If you guys haven't shared the stream out, please take a moment, share the stream. And also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, your subscribing to the channel will be greatly appreciated. So please do that. All right. Cat Williams predicted Diddy would be exposed in 2024. They actually got this in the news. This is on Fox 11. On Monday, the Los Angeles and Miami homes of Sean Diddy Combs were raided in connection with a federal sex trafficking investigation. Now, all they say is that this is in connection with a federal sex trafficking investigation, right? They don't say they don't say anything other than a federal sex trafficking investigation. So what's interesting about this is that this investigation could be about other things, and it could possibly just be involving Diddy or people that Diddy is involved with. It doesn't necessarily mean that the investigation is centering around Diddy. My question is, have any papers been released from the Department of Homeland Security or from the DOJ or from any court, any affidavits or anything relating specifically to saying that this investigation directly is Diddy? And I'm not saying that it's not. All I'm saying is that none of that stuff has officially been released yet, so we don't know. All it says in the news is that a federal sex trafficking investigation. More than likely, you know what I'm saying, it probably is centering around Diddy, but we can't say that definitively yet. You know what I'm saying? And one person who predicted the mogul would be exposed is none other than comedian Cat Williams. All these big deviants are catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It doesn't matter if you're Diddy or whoever. TD Jakes, all lies will be exposed. Williams said this in an interview with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay released earlier this year. Anyone who takes it the wrong way knows why they take it the wrong way. All right. So again, you know, Cat Williams, he does seem to have some pretty accurate inside information a lot of times. And I mean, what we are seeing is we're seeing his predictions somewhat play out. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the nearly 3-hour podcast, Williams mentioned how he maintained his integrity in his career. I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times, Williams said. P. Diddy be wanting to party, and you've got to tell him no. I did, all right? So now here's the thing, right? He said that Diddy be wanting to party. But what's interesting about that is, like, despite how degenerate P. Diddy and his parties are, shout out to my man DJ Elmo, man. Good to see you, bro. Yo, y'all make sure y'all show DJ Elmo some love. Throw some flames, radiation emoji in the chat. Good to have you back in the comment section, bro. Good to see you, man. You've been missed. Shout out to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Good to see you. Now I feel like it's complete. Now I feel like we back. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference between quote unquote partying and quote unquote criminal sex trafficking, right? There's a lot of different ways that I would party that other people would party. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of ways that other people party that I would not party. That don't necessarily mean that criminal behavior is going on. It just means it's just some stuff that I wouldn't partake in going on. Now, we know that Diddy partakes in some weird stuff. Most Hollywood, elites, media moguls, whatever, they all do some weird stuff and participate in some weird stuff. Just because it's weird, unless there's evidence, we can't really say it's criminal. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, while the homes were raided, the Department of Homeland Security hasn't named Diddy as the focus of the investigation. How many people were aware of that? If you guys were aware of that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys were not aware of that, give me a thumbs down. This is what I'm talking about. So again, I'm not making this up. Any of these people that go around and try to say, they're going to lump you into one group. Oh, there's a bunch of people caping for Diddy. There's a bunch of people not caping for Diddy. I'm caping for actually getting to the bottom of this and figuring it out. As you can see, you know what I'm saying? In the mainstream media right here, what it says is, while the homes were raided, the Department of Homeland Security hasn't named Diddy as the focus of the investigation. So now here's my question. What does that mean? What does that mean? What that means is that we still don't know who the focal point of this investigation is, and they could be trying to find evidence that may be in Puffy's possession or in his residence that could be related to an investigation involving somebody else as the focus that he might have been involved with or associates of his might have been involved with. Shout out to Danae Hobbs. What's good with it, Danae? And that's all that I'm saying. That's all that I was saying. You know what I'm saying? His LA home is registered to Bad Boy Films and one of his daughters. Okay. On Tuesday, Diddy released the following statement through his attorney. All right. So here's what Diddy said through his attorney. Yesterday, there was a gross overuse of military force, such as warrants were executed at Mr. Holmes' residence. There is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. Mr. Combs was never detained, but spoke and cooperated with authorities. Despite media speculation, neither Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way. This is an unprecedented ambush paired with an advanced coordinated media presence. Leads to a premature rush of judgment of Mr. Combs and nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. There has been no finding of criminal liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every day to clear his name. All right. So basically, yeah, I mean, a lot of this, it seems like, despite the fact, again, we're not saying that Diddy is a good person or anything like that. It seems like a lot of dust being kicked up, which is weird because you really got to ask the question, who's the one that's kicking the dust? You know what I'm saying? Who's the ones that's kicking the dust? I saw it. We're gonna check this out. Like I said, we got a lot of information to go over in a short amount of time. Shout out to my man Crew Reality. What's good with you, bro? But we got to ask the question, who is it that might be kicking up this dust? Because again, what is the definitive evidence that any of the speculation about Diddy is true? My speculation of Diddy is not true. I think Diddy's a piece of crap. I think he's a low integrity person. I think that he don't do the artists that he's involved with good. There's nothing untrue about that. But now, as far as these criminal allegations, the DHS hasn't even come out and said that he's the focus of the investigation. The DHS hasn't even come out and said that he's the focus of the investigation. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, shout out to y'all. I appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't smashed that like button yet, take a moment. Please smash that like button. Y'all know we got that goal of 200 likes. I know we can do it. If y'all haven't smashed that like button yet, do that. If you guys haven't shared the stream, we got 48 people watching. We got 36 likes. Let's try to get the likes to 60. Please share the stream. All right. And hit that bell and subscribe. Here's an article from CBS News Miami. Now, everybody knew that Diddy was in Miami, right? That's where they got his drug mule at, or the alleged drug mule, right? We're going to talk about that too.
And is accusing Sean Diddy Combs of drugging his alleged sex assault victims. That's one of the new details we're learning tonight about the sex trafficking allegations against the music mogul.
We've also obtained new body camera video of the moment one of Combs' alleged drug mules was arrested at a South Florida airport as his homes were raided.
Okay, so now you guys see this? I don't know where these accusations are coming from. The accusations that they're talking about here, as far as him, quote unquote, drugging people.
Well, this morning there are still.
I don't know where those are coming from. So my question for you guys is, do you all know where they're coming from? Shout out to Mr. King and shout out to Black First Coffee. What's good with y'all? Where are those accusations coming from? If anybody knows, let me know in the chat.
A man is accusing Sean Diddy Combs of drugging his alleged sex assault victims. That's one of the new details we're learning tonight about the sex trafficking allegations against the music mogul.
We've also obtained new body camera video of the moment one of Combs' alleged drug mules was arrested at a South Florida airport as his homes were raided Monday.
CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister joins us with those details from Watson Island, as well as the Miami rapper who's coming to Diddy's defense. Anna?
Hey, Lauren and Elliot. Yeah, so right now we're on Watson Island, right down the street from Star Island. And that's because earlier today when we went to Star Island, we were told by security that we had to leave. So that's why we're here right now. And in my hand, see this massive document. This is about 100 pages. This is the latest lawsuit filed against Diddy. And in it, there are some.
Okay, so now, again, this is a lawsuit filed, right? These are not criminal charges. Let me ask you guys, this is going to sound crazy, but I think it's important to get this out and to get it in the comment section. What this woman has in her hand is a lawsuit, right? What's the difference between a lawsuit and criminal allegations? What's the difference between a lawsuit and criminal allegations? Because what they're talking about here is details that are coming out of a quote unquote new lawsuit. That's what that 140-page document was that she had in her hand. And that's different, right? That's different than criminal charges, but they're reporting them in the same report. However, the issues can be related, but they're very separate at the same time. You know what I'm saying? They're separate with how they're dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Mr. King for becoming a YouTube member. I appreciate you, bro. I think Mr. King was a member before, but he returned. I appreciate you, bro. The membership is only 99 cents, and it definitely helps. And we getting close to 100. So let's try to get those that membership up to 100. That'd be awesome if we could. Make sure y'all show Mr. King some love. Throw some radiation emoji and some flames in the chat. And he's also the first stream sponsor. So shout out to him. We definitely appreciate you, bro. And shout out to Katsy for being a member for 17 months. Look at all the OG members we got on the channel, y'all. Throw some flames and radiation emoji in the chat for the OG members. As small as the channel is, do y'all ever be on channels that got that many OG members? I'm just asking, just saying. Just let me know. You know what I'm saying? That means something, right? That really means something, don't it? That means something.
A man is accusing Sean Diddy Combs of drugging his alleged sex assault victims. That's one of the new details we're learning tonight about the sex trafficking allegations against the music mogul.
We've also obtained new body camera video of the moment one of Combs' alleged drug mules was arrested at a South Florida airport as his homes were raided Monday.
CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister joins us with those details from Watson Island, as well as the Miami rapper who's coming to Diddy's defense. Anna?
Hey, Lauren and Elliot. Yeah, so right now we're on Watson Island, right down the street from Star Island. And that's because earlier today when we went to Star Island, we were told by security that we had to leave. So that's why we're here right now. And in my hand, see this massive document. This is about 100 pages. This is the latest lawsuit filed against Diddy. And in it, there are some very explosive allegations. Caught and cuffed on camera. New police body camera footage obtained by CBS News Miami shows the moment 25-year-old Brendan Paul, an alleged drug mule for music mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
So now, again, this Brendan Paul person, they said that he's an alleged drug mule. Interesting. Right, exactly. Shout out to Crew Reality. Exactly. He's an quote-unquote alleged drug mule. And so far, with all of this, despite all of these raids, despite all of these videos, all of this stuff is quote unquote alleged. Alleged. All right. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Miss Niecy. Make sure y'all show Miss Niecy some love. Again, yo, Miss Niecy, put your Cash App in the if you got a Cash App, put it in the chat and I'll post it up so everybody can shoot you some birthday money. Make sure y'all show Miss Niecy some love. She's the second stream sponsor with the $10 super chat. Definitely appreciate you. She says, thanks for the birthday shout out. No doubt. Anytime. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all show Miss Niecy some love. Shout out to Vega and Mr. Knock. What's good with y'all? Right. Exactly, Val. Lawsuit is civil, not criminal. Facts. And that's big. Now, they might be able to take evidence if any evidence related to the case would come out in a civil trial. That evidence could then possibly be brought into the criminal trial and expanded upon, right? But whatever comes out in the civil trial is not necessarily something that's able to be prosecuted. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And as of right now, everything is still all just alleged. There's literally nothing that's validated facts, right? So now, again, we got to make this clear understanding because, again, there's people trying to muddy the narrative. In no way is anybody saying that Diddy should get railroaded. Talking about his past history versus examining the current facts are two different things. That's not people hopping on with the mainstream media in the quote unquote pile up on a black man. That's not what we're doing. And as far as people talking about the quote unquote pile up on the black man, what people should really pay attention to is all of the power that was derived by P. Diddy that was not given to him by quote unquote black people that he used to harm other black people like the Locks, you know what I'm saying? Like Craig Mack, you know what I'm saying? Like Black Rob, like G Dep, like Loon. What's up with Loon? You know what I'm saying? Like Shine, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's real weird how, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people are trying to frame this, but shout out to the people with the attentive ears that pay attention to detail. People are able to kind of sift through a lot of that stuff. Like Mace, yeah, facts. Like Mace. Shout out to Mr. King, big facts.
Alleged drug mule from music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was arrested for possession of cocaine and marijuana candies Monday at the Opa-locka Executive Airport. Diddy has been hit with 5 lawsuits over the last 4 months, accusing the rapper of sexual assault.
Oh, yeah, and I absolutely agree. I agree 110%. Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo says, Blacklight, that's the trick. WS says alleged is enough to criminalize and make you look guilty. Facts. And as far as I'm concerned, right, the way that I'm breaking these articles and stuff down and pointing out what is fact versus what isn't and what is alleged versus what's not alleged, for people to try to push the narrative that people who have issues with Diddy, like especially like on our side, are trying to pile on with the mainstream media is ridiculous because the mainstream media is attempting to run with any allegation like it's guilt. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there are people out there who are doing that, but the purpose of those people trying to get in front of the argument is to basically get away from any type of examination of any detail of data that's put out during this situation and just to simply not look at it. And nobody's falling for that. Like nobody's buying that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man DC Precise. What's good with it, bro?
Sex trafficking and abuse. The latest lawsuit filed on behalf of music producer Rodney Little Rod Jones accuses Diddy of sexually assaulting, harassing, and drugging him and others, saying Mr. Combs provided laced alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers at his home in California, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Florida, and St. Bartholomew. The lawsuit goes on to say that during this time, Mr. Jones was forced to solicit sex workers and perform sex acts to the pleasure of Mr. Combs.
Now, see right here, right? This is an allegation. We don't know if this is true or not, but it's weird because there have been rumors about Diddy being involved in this kind of weird stuff before. So then when you see him documented, whether it's in, you know, a lawsuit transcript or what, it's just like, man, I heard about this before and this is weird. This is weird. Now, the thing is that when it comes to all of this kind of stuff and this weirdo stuff, a lot of times there's usually some type of validating evidence, right? Like a lot of times there's validating footage. There's a video or something, right? That's probably what the feds are trying to find. But my question is, has anybody found it and viewed it yet? That's my question. Shout out to my man Mo Fax. Mofax said, truth be told, content creators are exploiting Diddy the same way he exploited his artists. It isn't personal. It's strictly business. Yo, that's a fact. If y'all agree with Mofax, throw some flames in the chat. That's facts, bro. Big facts. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that a lot of content creators try to police what other content creators do. And it's like, nah, bro, we're going to do and talk about what we want to and how we talk about it. We don't care who you are. We don't care how influential you think you are. We don't care how many subscribers we think you are. Just because you put out a word and you put out your content about it, that doesn't mean that everybody's going to fall in line like a row of dominoes. Nobody's doing that. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
I have a feeling that this is just the tip of the iceberg as it pertains to unraveling whatever scheme might be taking place.
Spencer Kuvin is an attorney who represented several victims in the Jeffrey Epstein case. Kuvin says though the latest lawsuit was filed just last month, he believes law enforcement has had their eyes on Diddy way before his LA and Miami properties were raided on Monday.
That means that they've been.
So now, if you guys pay attention, all of this stuff that's being said here, all of this stuff that's being said here. Notice how it's, I have a feeling, I believe, I speculate. Literally, now the stuff that they had the evidence for the most part is always in a PDF file form, and they put it up on the screen. So y'all saw that, which all of that stuff was just transcripts from lawsuits. None of it was like actual hardcore evidence. Here is Diddy in the act. There's no eyewitness testimony also attached to tangible evidence, right? So these quote unquote Epstein allegations, we need to see more for this to be able to be prosecuted if that's what they believe. You feel me? If y'all agree, and shout out to Roots Trackers, what's good with it? If y'all feel me and y'all agree, then give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, then give me a thumbs down.
Interviewing victims, they've been interviewing people behind the scenes. They probably already have numerous statements from individuals that have talked about what happened. And that is what probably supported the request for a search warrant on these properties.
Celebrities sharing their thoughts on the Diddy drama, including Miami rapper Uncle Luke, who posted a video to social media this week.
So now check this out, right? This right here. Okay, yeah. You see this? This is We in Miami podcast. Where do y'all remember We in Miami podcast from? They on the We in Miami podcast. What other interesting case that's been in the news was We in Miami podcast briefly mentioned about? Do y'all know? Christopher Obumseli's the leader, Courtney Clenny, was a featured guest on the We in Miami podcast. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to be funny, man, but like what you see now is like, this is how YouTube merges with the mainstream media. Shout out to John Guillory. Like the larger YouTube content creators, there's now starting to be a line blurring between major Hollywood and major social media, because you see a lot of these people making these appearances and interacting with a lot of these larger platforms. How many of y'all remember that Courtney Clenny was on there? Yeah, facts. You guys remember what Jesse was talking about? Courtney Clenny, Christopher Obumseli's the leader, was a guest on We in Miami podcast. I never watched We in Miami podcast, but you know what I'm saying? That's somebody else that was on there.
Miami rapper Uncle Luke, who posted a video to social media this week claiming Diddy is being targeted after he filed a lawsuit against a beverage company for racial discrimination last year.
They didn't smear your name by the time you get.
No, I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know anything about that. How many people knew about Diddy filing a lawsuit about racial discrimination against a beverage company? Now, here's my thing, right? I don't know what beverage company it was. It'd be interesting to find out what beverage company it is and how much money, influence, and pull that they have to see if it's feasible that beverage company would be able to have a type of pull and influence to create the type of disturbance that's going on with Diddy that's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tony Taylor. But again, they're not focusing on that in the mainstream media, which you wouldn't expect them to, because that's how the mainstream media gets down. But I think that that's very important. And it's especially important if nothing comes out of this. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Black Bitcoin Key. What's good with you, bro?
Cheer.
They didn't smeared your name. By the time you get in the courtroom, you lost already because you're sitting up there with a jury looking at you like a pedophile, and you probably ain't never touched a little girl in your life.
Uncle Luke previously said on We in Miami podcast that he would leave Diddy's parties early.
Right,
Did you party with Diddy a lot?
Oh, no, not really. I would go to the party and leave early.
Why wouldn't you stay?
Now, you guys notice, right? Like most people, when they ask, like, did you party with Diddy? They keep saying that did you party with Diddy? There's not really many people saying, did you commit crimes with Diddy? And nobody's answering yes to that question. Shout out to MoFax. MoFax just dropped the receipts on the racial discrimination case. And it was against Ciroc. Now, see, I never knew. I thought Diddy owned Ciroc. He must have just been a partner in that or something like that.
I go to the party and leave early. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what goes on after hours, but
He wasn't trying to find out.
I wasn't trying to find out.
Diddy's private jet was spotted at the Opa-locka Executive Airport earlier this week, but his current whereabouts are unknown as the allegations against him continue to mount.
Well, his current location is not unknown, right? His current location is not unknown. And the thing is that at this point, there's no warrant for his arrest. So he really just doesn't have to be in the public eye like that right now. He's not under arrest. You know what I'm saying?
And we just found out about 30 minutes ago online on social media, one of the women who was named in this lawsuit, this latest one, she was named as accused of being one of Diddy's sex workers. Her name on Instagram is Daphne Joy. She is coming.
Now, this Daphne Joy individual here, they said that she's one of quote unquote Diddy's quote unquote sex workers. If I'm not mistaken, 50 Cent has a kid by her.
Out, and she is denying these allegations. She says she's going to explore her own legal options. As for Diddy, right now he's not facing any charges, and he and his attorney are denying all of these allegations. But for now, reporting live from Watson Island, Adam McAllister, CBS News, Miami.
Now, here's the question that you got to ask. Why is the mainstream media not presenting the civil law case as a separate issue from the from the criminal one? That's a strategy that you see the mainstream media use a lot of times when they're attempting to create a particular narrative. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So remember, on the news, they just said they don't know where Diddy is. Guess what? We found him. So the thing is that if they picked up his quote unquote drug mule in Miami, and Diddy is up there playing Top Golf in Miami, how did they not know where he was? All right. So now it says here, Diddy created the image, what me worry, Thursday night as he took his twins to hit up Top Golf in Miami. The same town, the same town where feds raided one of his homes earlier this week. Now, you seen how everybody keep putting out these videos? Where is Diddy? We don't know where Diddy is. All the videos of Diddy with palm trees, but we don't know where the palm trees might be. I mean, he's in Miami. So what is it that people don't know about where he's at? You know what I'm saying? Diddy flashed a peace sign as he left with 17-year-old daughters, Jessie and Delilah. The girl smiled as Diddy walked behind, raising his two fingers. You can't look more chill than the Sergio Tacchini velour tracksuit he was rocking. All right. We're told everyone was in good spirits as they played for 2 hours, although behind the scenes, it's anything but calm in the Diddy camp. And again, so how do we know that? If it was anything but calm, his camp probably wouldn't have let him go out there and play and be in the public like that. Right? Would you guys agree? As you know, both his Miami and LA homes were the subject of a Homeland Security raid on Monday, where federal agents zeroed in on electronics, including cell phones and computers. Now, here's the question. How many of Diddy's businesses have been raided for any form of evidence? Mofax said a lot of hand signs going on. Yeah, that's facts. How many of his businesses have been raided for evidence is my question. TMZ broke the story. The feds are in the process of issuing a slew of subpoenas. They're especially interested in manifests from private jet companies to figure out who Diddy flew from state to state and out of the country. Okay, so that's going to be interesting when that comes out. Diddy is a target in a sex trafficking probe, and manifests will help investigators determine if these allegations bear fruit by tracking down the various passengers and interviewing them. We've covered it all on the latest episode of TMZ Podcast, available on all platforms. All right, so again, this is all that they have. So basically, he's in Miami. And again, that's it. So now here's my question. Out of all of this speculation, out of everything that we've seen so far, is anybody convinced that Diddy is guilty based on the evidence? Not based on how we feel about his personal character, but based on the evidence that the mainstream media is providing. Because somebody has to ask, the mainstream media, another thing that people need to pay attention to with this narrative, the mainstream media is not the people that brought any of this stuff to light or questioned P. Diddy's integrity. They didn't do that. They're getting given they're taking the credit, and they're being given the credit by the people who are caping for Diddy. But people been online questioning Diddy's integrity. This is nothing new. And we got to ask the question, why is it that nobody listened to us when we initially were questioning Diddy's integrity? How many people have questioned what Diddy is doing and what goes on with Diddy for a long time? All the fallout from Bad Boy Records, the relationship between him and former business partners. We've been questioning that stuff. Why is it that it's getting so much attention now? The mainstream media didn't make any of this speculation. Cat Williams isn't part of the mainstream media. Conspiracy YouTube isn't part of the mainstream media. Why now? Why are they trying to take credit for all of the investigative work that independent content creators and independent journalists have done over these years with all of the speculation? Shout out to Val. Val says, according to a short I saw on YouTube this morning, 50 Cent filed for sole custody of his child with the accused worker so the state won't get him. I don't know how true that is. If there's anybody that can let us know about that, about what Val's talking about, if that's true or not, make sure y'all drop it in the comment section. Shout out to my man, DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo says, remember, media is from the Greek media, meaning deception and cunning. The mainstream media is doing its mission statement. Facts. I agree. If you guys agree with DJ Elmo, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to my man Carlton Wade. What's good with it? We talking about some sus Illuminati today. Shout out to Kev. So let's see what they're talking about here real quick. If this will play. Hold on real quick, y'all. All right, there we go. Hold on. Let me see. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. All right, there we go.
This morning, there are still a lot of questions about why federal agents raided Sean Diddy Combs' houses in Miami and LA on Monday. You're seeing video from that here. Sources are telling CBS News the searches are part of a possible sex traffic investigation by federal agents in New York. Now, his lawyer, though, Combs' lawyer, calling the searches excessive and continuing to say that Diddy is innocent. So joining us now, legal affairs and court reporter Megan Cuniff. Megan, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And here's another thing that's interesting about this, right? The way that the American criminal justice system works is that you're in regards to criminal charges, you're innocent until proven guilty. So let me ask you guys this. If him and his lawyer are saying that he's innocent, is that a factual statement? Let me know in the comment section what y'all think.
So there's still a lot of speculation here, but this does come after a string of civil lawsuits and years of sexual misconduct allegations. So was this raid maybe just a matter of time? Is this something we often see in a situation like this?
I think the seriousness of the allegations that were raised in these civil lawsuits has definitely begged the question of whether there would be any kind of criminal investigation into this. So while no one knew, I think there were a lot of eyes looking for something like this to see.
So do you see what this lady is saying here? I want you guys to pay very close attention. What we have going on here is we have the mainstream media purposely conflating the criminal investigation with the civil investigation. Do you all see that? If you all see the mainstream media doing that in real time, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, then give me a thumbs down. And now also remember, what comes out in court is not necessarily the actual situation. It's only what people say in court and then what's verified by evidence or what's taken in by the judge and jury. People can lie and get away with it, all kinds of stuff. Shout out to MoFax. MoFax says this is what they did to Cosby. I agree. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Now, the thing is with Cosby is that I don't think that Cosby had a reputation, like as far as like, you know, people's sentiments toward him. I don't think he had as low of an approval rating in the, you know, in the eyes of people as Diddy does. I think after the smearing and, you know, all of the court appearances and stuff like that with Cosby, his quote unquote social stock might have went down with some people, but I don't think that his was as low as Diddy's is now. So this, you know, what's going on with Diddy, this is probably really going to affect him, even if he's not found guilty of anything. You know what I'm saying? If you guys agree, let me know.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So there's still a lot of speculation here, but this does come after a string of civil lawsuits and years of sexual misconduct allegations. So was this raid maybe just a matter of time? Is this something we often see in a situation like this?
I think the seriousness of the allegations that were raised in these civil lawsuits has definitely begged the question of whether there would be any kind of criminal investigation into this. So while no one knew, I think that there were a lot of eyes looking for something like this to see if there would be some kind of confirmation of a criminal investigation. And that's what we got on Monday.
I wanted to ask you before we move on to a few questions I had, is there anything that stood out to you or that?
Yeah, I gotta agree. Shout out to Black Spider. I agree with this 100%. Black Spider says they don't listen to black people at all on purpose. They just turn the dogs loose on black targets they're out to get. That's a fact. And the reason why is because, let me ask you guys this. Over all of the years, right, since Diddy has been relevant in any space, who has been the majority of people saying that something's not right with Diddy? Now you got the mainstream media. Now you got a lot of, you know, transparent, so to speak, content creators making a lot of content about this, but they weren't the ones who were blowing the whistle on Diddy initially. Who were the original people questioning Diddy's integrity? In most cases, it would at first be the people that he did wrong, like his artists, right? But now, why weren't they listened to? Now we have the mainstream media and especially a lot of right-wing content creators acting as if they made some type of profound discovery and as if everybody else was caping for them. You're not heroes. You're not breaking any news. You're not doing anything except for running up AdSense on an algorithm that's already favored towards your content because you people are so intimidated to listen to anybody else and so scared to allow other people to maintain their narrative that they have to act like they brought this out while failing to take responsibility for creating this monster by putting all the money in his pockets. You know what I'm saying? Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
That you're really curious about at this point?
Right now, we just have so little information about what has actually spurred this on. I mean, I thought it was funny that Diddy's lawyers remarked about a coordinated media presence because it was a gigantic raid at a celebrity's mansion. So it made sense that the TV news crews would be there. But we really haven't gotten any information about who's involved in this investigation, who might an alleged victim be.
Right now, check this out. All these raids, right? You guys saw that. All these raids, all these arrests, everybody got arrested except for Diddy. They've raided his places that he lives at. And did you guys hear what she just said? They still don't have any information. How do you do all of these raids and all this and you still don't have any information? You don't have anything? There's nothing? Shout out to my man Black Star Racer. What's good with you, bro? And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate y'all. We got 58 people watching. If you guys could take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell, take a moment, hit the bell, and please share the stream to your social media wherever you're watching from.
Celebrities Mansion, so it made sense that the TV news crews would be there. But we really haven't gotten any information about who's involved in this investigation.
Why haven't we gotten any information about that? See, that's important. The lawyer said we still haven't really gotten any information about who's involved in this investigation. Why haven't they? What information have they gotten so far? This is my question for y'all. I need y'all to let me know this in the comment section. What information have they gotten so far? That's the big question.
Who might an alleged victim be, how it started, anything like that. We're all just left to look at the lawsuits and kind of surmise from there what's going on. And the fact that Department of Homeland Security does do sex trafficking investigations. And those are the allegations that are all over the lawsuits against them.
Yeah, based on what you've covered in the past, I mean, when we see a raid like this, of this magnitude, 2 homes, different parts of the country, maybe could a criminal indictment be coming after this, or how long could that take?
It's
that would be based on whatever type of linking evidence that they came up with in these quote unquote raids. Just because they did raids does not necessarily mean that criminal charges are guaranteed after the raid. What evidence directly linking Diddy to the allegations has come from these raids is my question. Shout out to my man AB Promotion. Shout out to Darlene Parsons. Welcome to the stream. Make sure y'all show AB Promotion some love. He the 4th stream sponsor. Definitely appreciate you, bro. AB Promotion says, Rob and BLR fam, I only drink champagne. That's hilarious. You mess with Ciroc? You had any Ciroc lately? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I had some passion fruit Ciroc, you know what I'm saying, a couple of days ago.
definitely the intent of them going in there to seize stuff from the house was to see if they can get some kind of criminal indictment. They had to show that they had probable cause to believe a crime was committed and that there would be evidence of the crime inside those homes. So obviously that indicates they are working, hoping to get some kind of criminal indictment, whether that actually means
hoping to get a criminal indictment. You guys see that, right? Shout out to Miss Butterscotch. Miss Butterscotch says, I do believe that he's guilty. How many people believe that he's guilty? I think that there are a lot of people out there that believe that he's guilty. I don't think you're alone in that, Miss Butterscotch, at all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man, Mike Nice. What's good with it, bro?
Means there will be a criminal indictment. We can't say for sure.
And, we've talked to you before about other high-profile sexual abuse cases. Again, we do want to mention Diddy not charged with anything. We know that his ex-girlfriend, though, Cassie Ventura, settled her lawsuit accusing him of violence and sex trafficking. But can you speak to the role of victims when they play in this and stepping forward, sharing their stories in these high-profile cases?
I think they're absolutely crucial. If they weren't willing to come forward and share their stories and then talk with investigators, I don't know if we would have much of an investigation here, because where would they start and where would they know to go? And then a big thing for a probable cause affidavit for these search warrants could be some corroborating statements or some interviews.
Oh, man. Shout out to Tim McDaniel Shabazz. DC Precise says that face on your thumbnail says it all. Yo, how many of y'all appreciate my thumbnail for this live stream? If you appreciate the thumbnail for this live stream, throw some flames in the chat.
with these women or other people involved in these lawsuits that they've conducted.
Yeah, I know another big question for people not only is, where's
right.
that side of
Tim is actually, see, like, this is what I'm saying, right? Tim is asking the question, who does anyone know who he is supposedly trafficking? They just keep throwing out sex trafficking, but who? Right. Right. And where is the evidence? They've done all these raids. They raided, first of all, most of us don't even have 2 homes. They've raided 2 homes of his. They didn't find anything. And I agree with AB. If you guys agree with AB, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. We can all believe what we want, but it's about what they can prove. And here's my question. As of right now, with the evidence that they have currently, what can they prove? You always know when the answer is nothing, because in most cases, the person won't be in custody yet. Now, they could be in custody and bonded out, right? but even a bond is part of custody, because what the bond means is that you're still, you know, attached to the court system. There's just a bond on you to guarantee the value of you being present at court. Him being arrested or involved with any kind of bond has not happened yet, which means that they have not been able to ascertain the necessary potency and amount of evidence needed to proceed with whatever criminal charges that they want to proceed with.
The story, but also the arrests that were made. You know, there's so little information we even have about that connected to this case.
Yes, the man who's described in one of the lawsuits as a mule, as a drug mule for Diddy, was arrested at an airport in Miami yesterday on some drug charges. But, you know, right now it's a single drug arrest that has no connection.
So let me ask you guys this question. What's the likelihood of a drug mule being arrested for drug charges? Now, the question is, these drug charges that this drug mule was involved in, do those charges have something to do with Diddy or not? See, that's the question. Do those charges have something to do with Diddy or not? And has that drug mule said directly, I've criminally sold drugs to Diddy? Or is there evidence? Is there any text messages? If he's the drug mule, there should be some form of communication between him and Diddy, right? Would you guys agree? So if they haven't shown that yet, until they show it, we can't say that we know for certain. You know what I'm saying? We can only say that it's speculation. And like I said, as of right now, when it comes to these particular charges, right, saying that Diddy is a piece of crap versus these particular charges are two separate issues. As it pertains to this issue, they have not produced enough tangible evidence to put him in jail. All the content creators that could come and say, well, you're just caping for Diddy. If I'm just caping for Diddy, then the police got to be just caping for Diddy, because what you're saying is that there's enough evidence for them to take him in and put him in jail, and they just haven't. And the reason why they just haven't is because, like the other content creators would be accusing me of caping for him, then clearly the ultimate cape for him would be to not put him in jail. So I'm not even at the ultimate level of caping. So before, you know, people get accused of caping, the first people that got to be caping for Diddy is law enforcement, because they haven't done anything yet and they have all the power and means to do it. Me simply going over news articles and what's been put out in the news is not affecting this one way or another. But people get lost in their little YouTube worlds. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Jay Bird. Make sure y'all show Jay Bird some love. My man Jay Bird been supporting the channel for 22 months. And that's absolutely facts, Mo. You're not wrong about that at all. Mo Fact said flying a woman out could be considered trafficking. It's a very low bar. Facts. A booty call could be considered trafficking, right? You know what I'm saying? You're right. You're absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? But now what we have to do is we have to look at the details around what we're considering quote unquote sex trafficking, and then ask the question, was there criminality involved? That's the biggest issue. Does it fit the criminal definition? And again, we didn't make any of these definitions up. These are definitions that come from the court. Shout out to Yo-Yo Queen. What's good with it, Yo-Yo Queen?
To this overall case, but it will be interesting to keep following this and see what happens with his case, and then if we see anything more public arising from these searches. And
yeah, shout out to you, Jay Bird. That's big facts. You did hit the 2-year mark. It is on the other channel. It would have been the 2-year mark for this channel had they not demonetized it. Y'all remember they had demonetized this channel for a little bit?
In the coming weeks.
Yeah, definitely. No, we'll stick with this. Lots of questions to be answered. Legal affairs and court reporter Megan Cuniff, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
All right, so there's that. All right, so again, what out of watching all of these news reports, what are we getting? What we're getting is we're getting a lot of speculation, right? And we're also getting a lot of talk about civil allegations, right? With the civil allegations being attempted to be used by the mainstream media to somehow link the civil allegations to the criminal allegations, but nothing binding that's been discovered from any of these raids. That's what we're getting. Shout out to AB Promote. Yeah, you're a member on this channel, bro. You got I see your membership badge. I can see it on StreamYards. You know what I'm saying?
This is Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, or just Diddy. The big-time 90s rapper is under the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. As part of an ongoing sex trafficking investigation, Diddy's properties were raided by armed federal agents in March 2024. Now, Diddy's not been formally charged or arrested.
Now, do you guys see this? Do you guys see that on the screen, right? Diddy has not been formally charged or arrested. Now, here's the question that people should be asking. All of the YouTubers and all of the mainstream media people that are making these videos that are literally saying that they have definitive proof that Diddy has done any of this stuff, where if they have definitive proof, why haven't those YouTube videos been subpoenaed by the Department of the DOJ, the Department of Justice? Why haven't those YouTube videos been subpoenaed as justice and P. Diddy and other associated parties been arrested based on the basis of those YouTube videos? That's my question. And shout out to Jesse Paris. Make sure the facts. Jesse been around for a minute. Make sure y'all show Jesse some love. Jesse said, I remember. I've been listening to you since 2021, Rob. You know what's crazy, bro? Time goes so fast. It doesn't even seem like I've been YouTubing that long. I was talking to TD the other day, and like we both had to take a minute. It's like, damn, we didn't even know that we had been, you know what I'm saying, chopping it up for 4 years. Like, where does I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. Once you get out of your 20s, time speeds up. Time speeds up, I'm telling you.
And we don't know what the raids will lead to. But here's what we do know about the raids and the lawsuits that led up to it. Allegations against the rapper began to pile up in 2023 with his...
Now, again, let's just pay very close attention to what they're saying. They literally just said it right here. We don't know what this will lead to. Shout out to DSA and Still Kevin Trees. What's good with y'all? Am I lying, Tim? Once you get out of your 20s, next thing, listen, once you get out of your 20s, literally you wake up one day and you're 40. And then you got people, then you got the young people, that the pre-arthritic people like Jay Bird sitting in the comment section talking mess. You know, I don't know what it's like to be old, but I'm going to sit there and listen to you tell me about it. You're going to know what it's like to be old soon. You're going to know. You're going to know soon enough. You know what I'm saying? You're going to know.
Allegations against the rapper began to pile up in 2023.
Shout out to Lunch. What's good with you, bro?
R&B singer Cassie, aka Cassandra Ventura, filing a lawsuit on November 16, alleging she was trafficked, sexually assaulted, and beaten throughout the course of their relationship. The case was settled a day after the lawsuit was filed, but it prompted multiple other people to come forward with similar claims of alleged misconduct from Combs.
Now, remember, similar claims, right? Even what went on between him and Cassie, it was settled in a civil court. And despite as wild as it may sound and seem, no criminal allegations have been put on the books based on Diddy's dealings with Cassie, which is something important that people shouldn't, forget about.
Combs was hit with another lawsuit on November 23 of 2023, with Joy Dickerson-Neal alleging she was drugged and sexually assaulted by Combs while attending college in 1991. Then, on the 26th of February 2024, in New York, Diddy's producer, Rodney Little Rod Jones, alleged the media mogul and his associates subjected him to unwanted sexual advances and forced him into relations with hired sex workers, all while working for Combs between September of 2022 and...
So now here goes my question. Who can name any of the quote-unquote sex workers, allegedly? Right? Who can name any of the sex workers that P. Diddy has, quote unquote, verifiably dealt with? Now, that what's that lady's name? Daphne Joy. Daphne Joy, right? They're trying to claim that Daphne Joy is a sex worker. She's trying to defend herself and say that she's not. You know what I'm saying? But now, again, depending on where this quote unquote sex work took place, that's some places, some particular kinds of sex work is legal. So again, we have to look at the quote unquote legalities of this.
In November of 2023, Little Rod also alleged that Diddy regularly hosted, quote, sex trafficking parties with underage women. 1 month after Little Rod's lawsuit, the feds made their move.
2 homes owned by
Shout out to
rapper P.
Shamika.
Diddy
What's
in the
good with you,
United States
Shamika?
have been raided as part of an investigation into sex trafficking. Federal law enforcement agents with guns drawn have been seen swarming the star's Los Angeles and Miami houses. Marley Hogan is in LA.
Federal agents.
Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said that Exotico community getting these dudes jammed up. Yo, the IG model community is booming right now, bro. The IG model community is booming right now. You ain't never lied. You know what I'm saying? They getting the money. They getting folks locked up. You said that Exotico community, bro. You crazy.
Searching the house of Sean Diddy Combs here in Los Angeles, looking for what they believe is evidence that will help them build a case against the rapper. Agents took no chances when they entered that property.
Again, did you hear what she said? Help them build a case. If they need help building a case, then what that means is that they currently don't have one. And if they currently don't have one, then what does that undeniably mean?
That will help them build a case against the rapper. Agents took no chances when they entered that property today, going in with guns drawn. They also detained 2 people while that raid took place. It's not just this property here in Los Angeles. There is also another house in Miami that was also being searched. It's been reported that this is related to a trafficking and sexual assault investigation. Law enforcement officials are yet to comment on that detail. But
and you know it's serious when they got the police 18-wheeler outside your house. Like, man, what's inside of that? Y'all ever seen a police 18-wheeler? What's about to go on with that? Who has the CDLs at the police office to drive that truck? And what they plan on doing? We got people that drive. You know what I'm saying? For sure, Jay. Appreciate you, bro. We got people that drive for a living in the chat. What do this police, and see, it don't say SWAT on it. What do the police 18-wheeler do? I don't know if that's a paddy wagon or a paddy semi-trailer. Like that's kind of crazy. I ain't never seen nothing like that before. Do the back gate pull up and RoboCop come out or something? Like what's going on with this? If I'm not mistaken, like it might have a little satellite on the top too. I don't know what they're looking to find in there. Something pretty damn serious with that.
Are yet to comment on that detail, but Sean Combs has recently been associated with a number of other troubles that include civil lawsuits over allegations including sexual assault and sex trafficking. One was brought by his former partner and R&B singer Cassie, but was later settled for an undisclosed amount. It triggered others to come forward with accusations. A lawyer who represents Cassie and an anonymous accuser welcomed news of the raid. Hopefully this is the beginning of a process that will hold Mr. Combs responsible for his depraved conduct.
US-based news outlet TMZ obtained this exclusive video of the raid.
Look, so here go the exclusive video of the raid. Now here go my question. You know, we can't see what's on the computers and stuff like that from just watching this video. Where's the evidence at? Right, that's Optimus Crime. Facts. Shout out to AB. AB said that's a command center. That's Optimus Crime. You know what I'm saying?
Following the property raids, Combs' lawyer, Aaron Dyer, released a public statement on his behalf, slamming what he called gross misuse of military-level force. Dyer went on to say that this, quote, unprecedented ambush paired with an advanced coordinated media presence leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs and is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. The rapper himself has not spoken publicly yet.
So again, now, you know, all of the dramatic music, all of everything, out of everything that we've seen so far, what has convinced anybody that there's going to be criminal charges brought from this? As of right now, with what they're showing, Literally what we have going on is people making compound content on speculation. With the only thing that is speculation is the adjectives involving the raids. That's it. Have we seen anything in any of these videos that would make you say we can prosecute Diddy right now? We got enough. There's no denying it. He's going to jail. As far as what they've shown, I haven't seen any. Shout out to PD that remains. What's good with it? I haven't seen any so far. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions says they got nothing. So that's what it looks like so far. If you guys agree with AB, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
A former Syracuse basketball player who is accused of being Sean Diddy Combs' drug and gun mule is facing 2 felony charges after being arrested at a Miami airport.
Shanley Painter here with the details. Shanley.
Morning, Todd and Carly. Well, let's start with the arrest of one of Diddy's suspected associates. That's 25-year-old Brendan Paul. He now faces drug charges after police found him to be in possession of cocaine and suspected marijuana-laced candy.
So now here goes the question. What does that have to do with Diddy? And how are they connecting him to Diddy simply because he got found with drugs? Do they have any, and what I'm asking is, do they have any evidence that they can produce that shows that this man moved, sold, or sold drugs to Diddy? Right. That's the question. That's the question, DeAndre. How can you convict on any of this? Right. Right. That's what we need people to explain. Anybody that watches this video, you know, on the replay, if you're capable of doing that, what I would do is I would go apply to work for the Department of Justice. And before you go and apply for working for the Department of Justice, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Shout out to Jay Ghetto. What's good with it, bro? Jay says they pulled their shoulder out reaching with that white dude. Yeah, I gotta agree. It would be different if they had text messages between him and Diddy, right? It would be different if they had some information linking him to the sale of or moving drugs for Diddy. But so far, they haven't. If they have it, then they haven't presented it yet. So why are they not presenting it? I don't. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important to match all this stuff up, pay very close attention to it, and run it all down. We got to find out where this stuff is. If the definitive evidence was out there, it would be out there in abundance. Where is it?
A former Syracuse basketball player who is accused of being Sean Diddy Combs' drug and gun mule is facing 2 felony charges after being arrested at a Miami airport.
Shanley Painter here.
Facts, and shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure you guys show Brooklyn Queen some love. Please make sure y'all throw some like enforcers in the chat for Brooklyn Queen. We appreciate you. If you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, we got 69 likes. Let's try to get it to 100. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell, take a moment, hit the bell. Share the stream to your social media. And also, shout out to my man, DeAndre. Definitely appreciate you enforcing those likes, bro. Make sure y'all enforce the likes. Throw them like enforcers in the chat.
With the details, Shanley.
Morning, Todd and Carly. Well, let's start with the arrest of one of Diddy's suspected associates. That's 25-year-old Brendan Paul. He now faces drug charges after police found him to be in possession of cocaine and suspected.
Right. And that's why it's important to pay very close attention to these businesses, the families, the first and last name of the people that own these businesses, who they do their business dealings with, and who they're related to in what positions in the legal world, if you ask me. Because all of these people compare notes, share notes, and they all one hand washes the other. AB Promotion says Diddy must have pissed off the wrong sombrerito. If y'all agree that Diddy probably might have pissed off the wrong sombrerito, and that could be causing this, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. We know a lot of them people own a lot of businesses. They have a lot of majority stake in a lot of businesses, and the liquor company that he had an issue with could have had a big percentage of their board as Assam Burritos. You know what I'm saying? So they could have called up some of their friends, or, you know what I'm saying, met at some Assam Burrito function and said, we got to take care of that say Diddy. He's getting out of line. Well, you know, I got a couple people in Hollywood that could jam him up a little bit. I'll make a couple phone calls and see what could happen. This is one of the reasons why it's so important for us to weaponize criminal networks. We need to form, or not criminal networks. It's important for us to form and weaponize business networks. Shout out to Alonzo Griffin. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to MC Fact. I appreciate you, bro. It's important for us to form and weaponize business networks. The only reason why these Assam Burritos seem like they have so much power is because they form and weaponize business networks, and they concentrate power in certain areas to put the pressure on people to attack the money. Shout out to my man Moxie Approved, man. Yo, if y'all ain't checked out my man Moxie Approved channel, make sure y'all go and check his channel out. Also, my man did a fire stream last night. All his streams be fire, but last night was a really great panel. Make sure y'all go over there and check it out. Moxie, make sure you throw your channel in the chat, bro, so people can go and check you out. Glad to see you here, bro. Appreciate you. Shout out to my man Lunch with the $12 super chat. 6th stream sponsor, yo. Definitely appreciate you. Make sure y'all show Lunch some love. Throw some flames, radiation emoji in the chat. He said, do I get the breakdown shingle sticks? Or is that just with TD and Rob? Yeah, that's just with TD and Rob, bro. But yo, check it out. We're going to be getting some content up soon. You know what I'm saying? We've been slacking, but we about to be back. You know what I'm saying? We definitely about to be back. You know what I'm saying?
Marijuana-laced candy. Paul is described in a civil lawsuit accusing the rap mogul of sex trafficking as Diddy's drug and gun mule, and according to the Miami Herald, was arrested on the plane linked to Diddy by Homeland Security agents. Combs has, of course, denied all of these allegations, but an official with the Miami-based DHS says, we are responding to concrete, detailed, explicit allegations. This is not random. Victims may be reluctant to speak at first, but once they start talking, they talk a lot.
Okay, so there's a DHS source, right? Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the DHS is saying this. There's an alleged DHS source. And remember what I told you guys, always kind of, just question, the anonymous sources. They say that the allegations are concrete, right? Now, if the allegations are concrete, why don't we have concrete, tangible evidence to present and match with each allegation? This happened. Here are the text messages that verify it. Here's a video of this person in the elevator at this time. Here's eyewitness testimony. Here's receipts from when they were. Here's plane ticket receipts. Here's the purchase order that is linked to this ticket being purchased. Here's check-ins from this airport and that airport. Where is any of that? Where is it? Not to say that it won't come, right? But it hasn't. But it's being discussed like it's already been shown.
We are getting a lot of cooperation from a lot of people who want to see him brought to justice. And also speaking out is former backup dancer for Combs. Tanika Ray claims that she just knew to avoid Diddy at all costs, saying, yes, I danced for him and kept my space. Nothing that is happening is surprising. And yet, with all this happening, there's still no...
So the only thing that this says is that this person that made this statement, Diddy clearly didn't do anything to her. I just knew to avoid Diddy at all costs. So if you avoided him at all costs, then what that means is that he never had the opportunity to do anything to you, which means that more than likely he didn't. So what is this actually contributing other than she heard hearsay? Can I ask you guys this? Aside from hearsay, what does this contribute? So what's happening right now is that he's the subject of an investigation and that he's been sued. That's what's happening, and that's what's been happening. So what she's saying is that she's not surprised that he's the subject of an investigation and that he's been sued. Something else that's been happening is that he's currently not being charged. Is she also surprised by that? You know what I'm saying? Like, like the thing is that may sound sarcastic, but like, I'm not saying it to be sarcastic. I'm literally, we have to ask these questions like this, because asking these questions and the answers that were coming up for these questions is the reason why nobody's in custody yet. Would you guys agree?
Surprising. And yet, with all this happening, there's still no sign of the rapper himself this week, as his location remains unknown. But here is video.
Again, so literally his location at that point in time was unknown, because he doesn't have any type of affidavit saying he needs to surrender himself or anything. The location was also unknown because there was no search party, no U.S. Marshals out looking for him. So why would anybody know his location? We now know that after no search, we now know that he's in Miami. Okay.
Of his private jet returning to South Florida Wednesday after about only 48 hours in the Caribbean. It flew there after Monday's raid on Combs' mansions in Los Angeles and Miami by agents who confiscated hard drives, phones, and other evidence in their ongoing investigation against him. Of course, we know, guys, Diddy, he remains a free man, so he can go where he pleases. He's not been charged with any crime or wrongdoing.
Chanley Painter.
He's not been charged with any crime or wrongdoing. All of this, everything that we know, all of the content, all of the news reports, all of the articles, somehow with all of this stuff, still no charges, still not in custody. There's only one thing that we can interpret from the current situation. And what is that?
Great setup. Thank you. With that, let us bring in criminal defense attorney Bob Bianchi. Bob, and you know from your experience that once people start talking this much, they finally feel comfortable talking. They're pretty confident there's not going to be any blowback against them. So where does this investigation go from here?
Yeah, this is not an unusual thing where individuals finally come forward. One person kind of like pulls the plug out of the dam, and a lot of people now are empowered and they come forward. Investigators listen to this. It's also not the first time in the context of civil suits that prosecutors become aware of information that typically they would not have become made aware of in the criminal justice process, and they commence an investigation. One thing that I'm going to say that a lot of people seem to have difficulty with when they see something like this is they think that prosecutors and police are going after somebody because they're a high-profile figure. And while there definitely is the influence of the figure in their public nature on prosecutors, typically speaking, they don't make moves like this significant, establishing probable cause before a judge to enter into a location, get phones, get electronic data going to somebody's home, knowing that it's going to be a high-profile case, unless they have a significant belief that significant evidence of criminality will be found at that location. And that is exactly the stand.
Now, here's the question. As of right now, do we know if significant evidence of criminality has been found? As of right now, nothing has been presented. Because if something had been presented, there would be enough to go and arrest Combs. The fact that he's still a free person and that the police have not yet arrested him, that shows that they don't, after all the searching that they're doing, they still don't have what they need or what they're looking for or what they want to make appear, whatever it might be. So now, again, we have to ask, where is all of this coming from? Where is all of this coming from is the question. Somebody make it make sense. And real quick, shout out to everybody watching. We got 58 people watching and we got 71 likes. If everybody can bang on that like button and get us to 100, that'd be great.
That the judge signing the warrants found based upon the information investigators gave them. Now, of course, he's presumed innocent. No one's saying that he's done anything at this particular point in time, but as a criminal defense lawyer now...
Now, he's presumed innocent. Let me ask you guys this question. Have the mainstream media outlets that we've been listening to, have they presented the evidence, or have they presented this case, or have they presented this story as if he's quote unquote presumed innocent? Because there's no evidence that any of these raids has produced. The only thing that they're talking about is the civil cases, and they're not even pulling out the information that leads to criminal interest from the civil cases and focusing on that. In any of these news stories that we've watched, have they sectioned out a portion of the written transcript of the civil case and said, it's this part right here on page A45 that led the Department of Justice to start an investigation? They haven't even done that. They keep referencing the civil case, but they're not even referencing a particular part or evidence or moment or testimony from the civil case that said, it's this right here that sparked this. Because that should be easy. And yet and still, that's one of the things that's missing.
Having been a prosecutor for many years, I would look at this as being a very ominous sign for him.
And, you know, Bob, before this raid on his home, he was accused of sexually assaulting both men and women. But those are people that he appeared to know, and he's denied all of that. When you hear sex trafficking, that seems organized and for profit. Is that where this is going? Is that what he's being potentially accused of?
No, this is really hard to say. I mean, that is, you know, right now we don't have all that data, so I'm a little bit more cautious than most people are in jumping into that particular arena.
Look, shout out to my man DeAndre. DeAndre said, change of subject, Rob. You heard they giving out iodine pills or whatever that helps against radiation sickness to people going to the main site of solar eclipse on 4/8. This is all I've got to say. Literally every single day that anybody has ever been on Earth in history, we're bombarded by sunlight. And so if they think that a couple, minutes of an eclipse is going to cause quote unquote radiation damage more than being bombarded by sun your entire human existence, I don't know why anybody would think that an iodine pill would mitigate whatever radiation risk that they might get from watching the solar eclipse. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the radiation will be at a higher concentration from the solar eclipse. I don't know how that would work. I think with the solar eclipse, what goes on is that it's going to be blocking the moon. I think is going to block the sun. I can't remember if that's a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse. I don't think that, they might be coming up with that and selling people iodine pills. I don't really think that I don't think that that's going to help anything. You know what I'm saying? Now, I do know that I heard that they might have moved a hand on the nuclear, the nuclear countdown clock or whatever, the doomsday clock, and people were scared of a nuclear war because people are just scared all the time. You know what I'm saying? And people might be getting iodine and radiation pills for that kind of thing. Here's my thing. If there's a massive worldwide nuclear war, people can take as many iodine pills as they want to. Literally all of the problems that result from that, an iodine pill is not going to help. And you probably would rather just not take the iodine pill and hurry up and live out your natural days instead of trying to prolong it. Because in a post-nuclear world, I don't think most people are even equipped to be able to physically deal with it. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how I feel about it. Y'all know I'm kind of ominous, you know what I'm saying? But that's just how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think. Shout out to my man Izzy. Izzy had actually said, he had asked me something. We're supposed to be doing a stream coming up pretty soon. People making some type of speculation that is going to be the quote unquote end of the world and all this stuff. Let me ask you guys this question. As big as the universe is, we haven't even, we don't even know where it starts or ends at yet. If the earth just disappeared tomorrow, who would actually care? We care about it because we're here, but you know what I'm saying? On the, as far as on a universal scale, you guys think that I don't think that anybody would even care. You know what I'm saying? We care, of course, because we need, you know what I'm saying? We're here. But the size of the earth in the universe is like a microscopic piece of dust in a swimming pool. So like if that piece of dust just left the swimming pool, you think that anybody would notice? As I say, that's the way that the earth is, you know what I'm saying? In the universe. And I know that sounds bad and it sounds crazy and it's like, oh my God, like, don't you care? You know what I'm saying? But like, my thing is that people use that kind of stuff to manipulate people. They like to have people in a constant state of fear. I think that it's more likely that a car accident could occur than people needing iodine to deal with some form of radiation that they might get too much of from the solar eclipse. Do you guys know when you walk outside on a hot day and you can feel the heat from the sun, like you actually feel like the direct heat from the sun? Literally, that's radiation. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I feel about it. I had to do some research on it and see. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, there's all kind of stuff going on and we can't do anything about it. And, you know, people, you know what I'm saying? Like people be wanting to take people's money, which ain't nothing wrong with it. It would be nice if people gave a value added product. For some people that might be value added. There's some people that are really like just scared about everything. And they're like, oh my God, I might get more radiation this day. Hey, you're providing value to that person. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it as valuable, but that person might see it as valuable because it might ease some type of anxiety that they have. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Adrian Hicks. What's good with it, bro? You know what I mean?
But obviously, you got Homeland Security that's involved in this. They are arguing that there is some aspect of human trafficking. But I think what becomes most difficult, to be honest with you, in a case like this, as a prosecutor, is determining what level of this was being force and coercion, as opposed to individuals who wanted to be part of the game, wanted to be part of the scene, and then maybe became disgruntled because they've lost access, disgruntled because they didn't get something that they wanted. So it's making that separate.
Shout out to my man, the 6'4". What's good with it, bro? The 6'4" says, can concrete allegations be found invalid or false? Here's my, I want to actually compound onto your question. What is a quote unquote concrete allegation? The very nature of an allegation, how like an allegation is synonymous to speculation. How can you have concrete speculation? I'm confident in how can you be confident in your speculation? You know what I'm saying? Like, sit back and think about that. Shout out to Leonard D. Yuta. What's good with it, bro? How are you concrete in your speculation? You know, I'm definitively not sure about this. What? So basically what you're saying is that you definitively don't know anything. Right. Shout out to Win Loser Rug. Win Loser Rug said, I've been wondering what are concrete allegations since the start of the stream. Right. Concrete allegations are something that creates a lot of YouTube content interest and not a lot of arrests. Would you guys agree? That's one way that we can define concrete allegations. Concrete allegations are allegations that are so solidified that you can make numerous pieces of content about them, yet the Department of Justice cannot produce numerous court affidavits and arrests. That's one way that we can define that. Right? Would you guys agree? You know, you got to ask that question. You know what I'm saying? You got to ask these questions. You know what I'm saying?
But prosecutors are going to be very careful to make sure that anybody who is saying something negative in terms of either human trafficking or anything worse than that, that they've got independent supporting evidence to those allegations, at least.
Where is it? Right? Where they keep saying how, look, check this out, right? They keep saying how there has to be independent supporting evidence, but literally all of these news clips that we've watched, they just have a bunch of consultants coming on. Shout out to Caldona. and none of them are supplying the evidentiary requirement that they're saying that we need to say this stuff while saying it. You know what I'm saying? Thanks. Shout out to Carlton. Wait, Carlton said they say the concrete evidence when they're talking about the Galactic Bros, but we never see the evidence. Facts. Now, here goes my question. Do you all like understand what I want to make sure that I'm not being too repetitive and that you guys get my criticisms of the news. Do that make sense, what I'm saying? If what I'm saying makes sense, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't make sense, then give me a thumbs down.
That separation, but prosecutors are going to be very careful to make sure that anybody who is saying something negative in terms of either human trafficking or anything worse than that, that they've got independent supporting evidence to those allegations.
And that independent supporting evidence is what the authorities are supposed to be getting from these raids that they have not produced yet, which is why they have not produced an arrest warrant for Puffy. So now you got to go back, and after we break all that stuff down, we got to ask, what is this? What is this?
At least that's what good prosecutors.
And also check this out, right? When we're sitting here and we're talking about what's going on with Diddy, we talk about past experience. You know what I'm saying? We talking about, you know what I'm saying, Diddy, a lot of people around Diddy have fallen. Shine got deported. You know what I'm saying? You know, Black Rob didn't have his health care, right? Notice how none of the mainstream media is talking about the tangible, factual past criticisms that we have, and all of it is based on speculative events that no one has produced actual physical evidence of if they occurred or not. Which means that people who are talking about P. Diddy and his pattern of behavior from the past have a completely different motive than the people that are talking about these quote-unquote concrete allegations, which I'm still trying to figure out what a quote-unquote concrete allegation is. Shout out to the 6'4". The 6'4" says, also, can concrete allegations just be deliberately false claims? Me personally, I think that your first question, bro, was excellent about a concrete allegation. I think that the mainstream media should have to define for us what is a concrete allegation. Because how can an allegation be concrete? What that basically means is that you don't know. The only thing that's concrete about it is the fact of concreteness, and you don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my man TD Hip Hop Media with the $5 super sticker. Make sure y'all show him some love. He is the 7th stream sponsor, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate y'all showing the love. Make sure y'all throw some flames, radiation emoji, and ducks in the chat for my man TD.
Should be doing.
I mean, of course, we will see how big this could get, how far beyond Diddy. He hasn't been charged with it, but how far beyond Diddy this could potentially, keyword, go. Meantime, Georgia's Fulton County election interference case will be back in court today to hear motions from both sides. It should be noted that these motions are on the merits, including some First Amendment aspects. So could you see the judge potentially dismissing this case on the merits and kind of rendering all the Fonnie Willis stuff irrelevant?
I don't see that, to be honest with you. The judge has done a very thorough job here. In my estimation, the judge has done a very good and meticulous job.
Okay, so yeah, there's that. So now they moved on to this Fannie Willis stuff. So we don't necessarily need to talk about that. All right. So now next, even though we got people out here on YouTube building entire channels, you know what I'm saying, going from mediocre YouTubers to like being able to have a YouTube personal contact, that customer service, just simply based off some StreamYard's Fannie Willis streams. You know what I'm saying? We ain't on, you know, we're definitely going to sit there and throw some shade on that, because if the algorithm worked like that for everybody, people would have more media outlets. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. 50 Cent and Cassie have reacted to the Diddy raids in LA and Miami. Let me ask you guys this. If they had concrete evidence, would they be doing videos about the concrete evidence and about how they speculate Diddy will be prosecuted, or would they be doing content covering the reactions of how people feel about this? Why so much coverage on how people feel about it instead of on the evidence that has come from these raids? 50 Cent, Cassie react to Diddy raids in LA and Miami. 50 Cent, Cassie, and more celebrities are speaking out following the raids at Sean Diddy Combs' home in Los Angeles and Miami amid, quote-unquote, an alleged sex trafficking investigation. The, quote-unquote, in the club rapper slammed Combs, whom he has reportedly been feuding with for years, going on social media to share a picture of Combs' sons being escorted out of the Homely Hills mansion in handcuffs. Now, here's my question. Will that create enough information for an arrest warrant? Oh, yeah, bro. Tim says, yeah, I've been seeing a lot of new YouTubers since this Diddy stuff. And I guarantee you, like, most of them don't look like us, which is interesting because most of us have been the ones talking about Diddy for over the years. YouTube rarely recommends black content, even in regards to talking about issues that would be stuff that, you know, it would be a majority of us that are interested in, which is why it's so important for you guys to try to share and, you know what I'm saying, tweet and post on Facebook. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The blatant weaponization of the algorithm is ridiculous. Now, here's the thing. I don't expect YouTube to recommend my content because we all know what YouTube is for, but the denial of they should just come out and say it, like, yeah, you know, we don't treat all content creators fair. I mean, just come out and say it. Stop lying about it. Like the algorithm works the right way for everybody, because it doesn't. We could look at people's analytics. There's not a lot of people that are confident enough to post their analytics, and they know that they got a channel built for no reason. I'll show you my analytics all day long. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Okay. So now here it says, blank just got real, 50 Cent wrote. In a second post, 50 shared more images of the feds outside the LA home, writing, now it's not Diddy do it, it's Diddy done. They don't come up like that unless they got a case, he added, which the reason why they're coming up is because at that current moment, they don't have a case. And 50 know that, but 50 just trolling because 50 don't like Diddy. But 50 know that the reason why they're coming up like that is to get the information so that they can get a case. That's why you do raids. If they are, anytime a trap house gets raided, if they already had all the bricks, then they wouldn't be raiding the trap house. You'd be in jail and you'd be waiting for your court case. They're going to get the evidence if there is any there, if you haven't, you know, hid it, or if, you know what I'm saying, if there is any in existence. Okay. Cassandra Cassie Ventura, who filed a lawsuit against Combs last year, accusing the rapper and music mogul of sex trafficking and sexual assault, also issued a statement in response to the raids. Now, here goes my question. If this is a criminal investigation, and something came out from the lawsuit or settlement with Cassie, then you would assume that the DOJ would be interviewing Cassie to get information from her to be used in the testimony, right? But I don't know if that's happened yet. So we got to ask the question, why hasn't that happened? We will always support law enforcement when it seeks to prosecute those who have violated the law, a statement from her lawyer said. Hopefully, this is the beginning of a process that will hold Mr. Combs responsible for his depraved conduct. According to court documents, Ventura alleged that she was trafficked, raped, and beaten by Combs during the course of their relationship, which began when she was 19 and he was 37, as an artist signed to his label, Bad Boy Records. A U.S. official confirmed to Fox News that the raids on Combs' home are connected to federal human trafficking investigation. It's unclear if the rapper is a target of the investigation. Now, we all know that rich people party strange, right? Would you guys agree? Rich people party strange. How many people would feel comfortable partying like a rich person? I wouldn't. The reason why I asked you that question is because I got to ask you guys this. By the definition of sex trafficking, would being a swinger and going to a swingers meetup be considered sex trafficking? That's my question for you guys. What about going to a brothel? What about, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to buy 3 escorts. That's going to be my entertainment for the night. Is that sex trafficking? Is that sex work? Now, here's the question about it. Is it illegal? Is wife swapping sex work? Is wife swapping sex trafficking? Is wife swapping illegal? So now, here goes my question, right? The reason why I asked that question is because some of the weird, nasty, degenerate stuff that they do at those parties, it might not be stuff that we would do, but we have to definitively tie it to criminality. If P. Diddy is a weirdo and he has a consensual sex partner that, you know what I'm saying, is down with all the nastiness, and he pays somebody to create a sex tape with one of his partners, right? As long as everything is consensual and they're adults, that may be disgusting to us, but will that get you put in jail? That will get you put in jail if it's illegal where you did it at. But if it's not in the laws of where you did it at, then it may not get you put in jail. Would you guys, if you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Earlier today, Homeland Security Investigations New York executed a law enforcement action as a part of an ongoing investigation with the assistance from the HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners. Homeland Security investigators said in a statement on Monday, "We will provide further information as it becomes available." Now, here's my question. What information has become available yet? What information from all of this has become available? Combs has denied the various allegations against him. In December, he wrote on X, "Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and the truth." Now, again, as far as these reactions go, did these reactions validate or verify anything? Can we take these reactions and say we're taking this stuff to the court? Sounds good. It's entertaining, but what are we actually getting from it? That's the question. That's the question, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we're going to take a look here. Let me see. Hold on real quick, because I had some other information that I wanted to show you guys, but a lot of it looks like repeat stuff, and I really don't want to do repeat stuff. I want to try to actually get the important stuff here. Okay. So we're going to look at this article that talks about what authorities found at the raids at Diddy's home from E! News, because that's important. Let me ask you guys this question. In any videos that you guys have watched about this situation, has anybody gone down an inventory of what was actually found? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kara. Kara said lube. Ugh, that's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Oh God. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, that's disgusting. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you gay?
They haven't even found the evidence of that question yet. I'm gonna show y'all all the questions that they haven't found any evidence to yet.
Why are you gay?
What kind of shit is that?
I don't think you've changed a thing. Go on, jump.
No, I don't want to jump.
Yes, you do. You smoke crack, don't you?
None of those questions have been answered yet. Maybe they'll find it. Maybe they'll find the answers, but they haven't found them yet. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they found. New details are emerging about the raids at Sean Diddy Combs' home. After federal agents raided the rapper's multi-billion-dollar homes in Miami and Los Angeles on March 25th, sources with knowledge told NBC News March 26th that firearms were found at both properties. Okay. Was the warrant to look for firearms? Are those firearms illegal? Are those firearms hidden in evidence now? Is he not allowed to find firearms? Let me ask you guys this question. If you go to Backwood Bubba's house, would you find firearms? Are these firearms that Diddy had illegal? Is he not allowed to have firearms in the state that he's in? I believe that if these were illegal firearms, we'd be hearing about charges, right? So, okay, they found firearms. Additionally, Homeland Security investigations seized Combs' phones in Miami before he was scheduled to depart for a trip to the Bahamas. Yet and still, the mainstream media was saying that they didn't know where he was. While the investigation is ongoing, a source close to the investigation, which who is this? That the raid was connected to quote unquote allegations of sex trafficking and sexual assault and the solicitation and distribution of quote unquote illegal narcotics and firearms. So some white dude got arrested, and he got arrested for charges not related to Diddy, and they found guns at Diddy's place. Are we going to get an arrest warrant out of any of this? 3 women and 1 man have been interviewed by federal officials in Manhattan in relation to the investigation, the source shared. In a March 25 statement to E! News, a rep for Homeland Security investigation said that they had executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation and would provide further information as it becomes available. So again, this was from March 27th. It's now March 29th. Where's the further information? Where's the information? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Florida is a legal carry state. So now here's my question. How is it that people can say, quote unquote, so definitively, right? Like, where is the nail in the coffin? Have we seen a nail in the coffin yet? And what is the specific nail in the coffin? Rapper Sean Diddy Combs has been a prolific supporter of Democrats. A lot of the people that, quote unquote, are caping for Diddy allegedly have an issue with the Democrats. So you would assume that they have an issue with people that cape for the Democrats. As much damage as the Democrats have done. Remember, P. Diddy hijacked a whole political movement. How many people remember Diddy hijacking the whole political movement? If you guys remember that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, give me a thumbs down. What about when P. Diddy had a controlling interest in Revolt? When Diddy had a controlling interest in Revolt, Did he utilize revolt to revolutionize and provide a solid black media that would assist in controlling and maintaining our narratives? Did he do that? So you would think that people would have an issue with him for that. Not necessarily these current allegations, but you know, you kind of bring these things up and question them. Yeah, facts. Shout out to John Guillory. You guys remember that Vote or Die campaign? He made up a political party. We need our own political party. We need a black political party. Then what happened? Where is it at now? What happened to it? Where's that? What's it doing? What has it produced? You know what I'm saying? Diddy got plenty of money for lawyers. Is nothing that any YouTuber is gonna do that's gonna impact Diddy in his situation more than what his lawyers are gonna do for him in court. So to me, there's not even any value in either caping or hating. To maintain integrity in reporting information, what people should be doing is examining what's been presented and asking questions. And that's not what you see. What you see is everybody has a predetermined agenda, which takes away from the quote unquote integrity of reporting information, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Rapper Sean Diddy Combs has been a prolific supporter of Democrats. Combs endorsed Biden during 2020 elections. How do y'all feel about that? This is important because this, if you ask me, this right here, this is evidence of something that Diddy has done to harm black people as a whole. Because we know that the Democrats have harmed black people as a whole. I don't know. I haven't seen enough evidence to say whether he's sex trafficked or not, right? But there's plenty of evidence that what Diddy has done with what he's amassed as far as a money and financial empire, he has not used it to help. He's used it to cause harm. And that's my gripe with Diddy. That's not the same as a quote unquote media pile-on to the white narrative of what's going on with Diddy. And again, I don't care who tries to misconstrue what's being said. Because on YouTube, people move in cliques. That's not my problem. I'm not part of people's cliques. I'm part of Black Light Revelations. None of those cliques have ever done anything to help or assist me. I've never done anything to help or assist them. And I don't owe them anything with what I'm talking about or how I'm talking about it. The same way they make it very clear that they don't give a shit if I'm alive or not. So, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So again, my gripe with Diddy has been consistent. If you ask me, he's a disinformation agent that really creates a lot of confusion, and he tries to mislead people and lead them in the wrong direction. You can see that same pattern of behavior with how he treats his artists. And it's consistent. And you can ask the question, who is he still cool with, and who's sitting up here giving testimonies saying that working for Bad Boy is a good experience and you'd invite your peers to do the same thing? Literally nobody. Literally nobody. Diddy has damn near burned every bridge that he's had, and it seems like he buries, or his mistakes somehow get buried. And you're spot on, Adrian. Shout out to Adrian. Adrian says this is a Cosby-esque setting up of public opinion to take the fall in court of public opinion. Facts. I think one of the things that they're going to do is they're trying to set all of this up to legitimize a lot of independent civil lawsuits to attack Diddy's bank account. They're going to create all of this speculation, right? Because all they've done is created speculation. And based on the speculation, now you're going to have all these people coming out using civil lawsuits to attack him financially, which is going to deplete his his financial reserves, his financial resources. If you ask me, that's what this is a strategy of. Again, based on what has been shown thus far. I'm not saying I don't think Diddy is guilty. I'm not saying I don't think that he is guilty or that he isn't. I'm saying that based on the way that the narrative is being framed, the way that there hasn't been a big production of any tangible evidence to lead to an arrest, what this is the setting up for vulnerability for a financial attack, repeated financial attacks to significantly decrease his financial reserves. That's what it seems like to me. You know what I'm saying? As of right now, again, this stuff changes on a rolling basis based on what comes out versus what doesn't. But based on, March 29th of 2024 at 5:38, with the data available to me, this is what I've come to as a conclusion. That's subject to change, you know what I'm saying, as more information is released. You know what I'm saying? Let's check out this video real quick and see what they're talking about on here. Hopefully this played. I don't know what be up with the Fox.
Question. I
don't know what be up with the Fox website. They expect you to sit and wait through this video right here. Hold on, skip. I was about to say now. Come on now. They're talking about an hour or a minute and 23 seconds. Ain't nobody about to do all that. Hold on real quick. If y'all haven't hit the like button yet, help me out. Hit that like button. Hopefully y'all enjoying the video. If you haven't shared it yet, make sure y'all share. If y'all haven't subscribed to the channel yet, take a moment, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon twice.
Developing now, federal officials are telling the New York Post they were acting on specific allegations of sex trafficking when they raided two of Sean Diddy Combs' multi-million-dollar mansions Monday. They're also saying his alleged victims have not been holding back during interviews. Let's bring in filmmaker and director Mike Dorsey, who produced the movie Murder Rap: Inside the Biggie and Tupac Murders. Thanks for being with us. What do you make
Thank you for having me.
You got it. What do you make of these claims from the victims who seem to be saying not only...
So now check this out, right? I want to go back. They're investigating based on specific quote unquote allegations of sex trafficking. Yet the only thing that we know of as of right now that has been found in the raids is guns. They didn't even find boxes of condoms or, like Cameron said, lube. The electronic records, you know what I'm saying, involved with purchases and credit card numbers, different things like that, GPS records from the phone and GPS records from the car. Those things should definitively provide some form of evidence if there's any there. Since none has been produced or at least released yet as of right now, what does this seem like? What does this seem like?
Developing now, federal officials are telling the New York Post they were acting on specific allegations of sex trafficking when they raided two of Sean Diddy Combs' multi-million-dollar mansions Monday. They're also saying his alleged victims have not been holding back during interviews. Let's bring in filmmaker and director Mike Dorsey, who produced the movie Murder Rap: Inside the Biggie and Tupac Murders. Thanks for...
So now, again, they got this guy that produced this movie, which I find it interesting. Again, they got this white dude producing this movie. If you ask me, this is what I was talking about on Moxie's stream last night. We have to start locking out and blocking out these people from being able to monetize off of telling our stories. These are our stories. Biggie and Tupac already got used enough to make enough white people rich. And now another one wants to write a movie about their demise to get even more rich. I don't understand why that message is not pushed. But it's something that people should consider at the least. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my man DeAndre being a like enforcer. Make sure y'all show DeAndre some love. Throw them like enforcers in the chat. DeAndre says we're at 84. Help us to get to 100 likes. That's great, but halfway. Hit the like button. Help us reach our new goal of 200 likes. That's a fact. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to you, bro. Make sure y'all show DeAndre some love for enforcing those likes. But this is what I'm saying right here. They've got a white expert on, you know, like situations surrounding black people. I want you guys to understand this right here, this kind of stuff right here is a tax on our integrity. What this is effectively saying is that these people are not capable of telling their own story. So you have to listen to their story from us. No. If you ask me, people really have to start taking more pride in control and not relinquishing the control. Shout out to Tim. Tim says, where are the black experts? The black experts are out there, but the people that have platforms big enough to be able to give those black experts a platform are for some reason not doing that and not encouraging that. They're there. Like I said, when in most of these situations, it's been black people that's been exposing Diddy this entire time. There's people that have platforms. They may not be as big as Fox News, but they got platforms big enough to be able to allow us to be the primary information of our own story, and they make the conscious choice to not do that. Right now, that could be being done. Those people have, like right now, I could be eating a hamburger, right? But I chose to not eat a hamburger and I chose to live stream. Those people are out there, and there are people that have a platform to be able to do that. Those people have made the choice to not right now currently use their platform to do that. We have to, that's what the reality is. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta agree. But at the same time, if you ask me, there has to be pressure. You feel me? There has to be pressure on us to make sure that we see value in maintaining control and us creating these platforms to be able to maintain control of our narrative. Quote, if you ask me, quote unquote, boycotting white media without enforcing media integrity of our own, with one without the other negates itself. Boycotting white media while not enforcing media integrity of our own creation just simply leads to people being uninformed. It doesn't necessarily need to lead to the control changes that we need. Would you guys, if you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
For being with us, what do you make
Thank you
of?
for having me.
You got it. What do you make of these claims from the victims who seem to be saying not only is he guilty of sexual assault of individual people, but of these wider crimes involving sex trafficking rings?
On that, we'll just have to wait and see where it goes. I'm not as
why.
I don't have
now check this out. Why when we get down to these hard questions, it's just we'll have to wait and see where it goes. And I agree. Facts. Shout out to you, Tim. I agree 100%. Do you guys see this when it comes down to asking the hard questions? Oh, we'll just have to wait and see where it goes. Why? They're all putting out all of this information like they have all ultimate sources of knowledge, and then when it comes down to the difficult part, oh, we just have to wait and see. Wait and see what? I thought you had it. You know what I'm saying?
Trafficking rings.
On that, we'll just have to wait and see where it goes. I'm not as I don't have inside information on sexual abuse accusations against him. I'm more familiar with, years of accusations against him for various physical altercations that he's been involved with other people. So it was not that surprising when, this came out, but this is the first that I had heard of sexual abuse and sex trafficking.
It wasn't surprising when this came out. right? Listen to what he just said. He said he never heard about the sex stuff. He did hear about him getting into physical altercations. Never heard about the sex stuff. Yet the sex allegations were not surprising. If somebody has a violent history of getting into physical fights, and that's just it, the only thing you know about them is that they got into physical fights. You've never heard anything about them having any sexual allegations, and then sexual allegations come out, you're not surprised. Exact. Shout out to DJ Elmo. You caught that, bro? Oxymoron. Facts. So, and this is why it's important that this stuff is broken down, if you ask me, because again, like I said, people have, you know, we've been bombarded with so much stuff in the media where certain people get presented on the media, and a lot of times they get given an integrity pass simply because of their appearance. And there's no integrity in appearance. There's only integrity in quality of information. And if you break down what people are saying, it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo and babbling. This right here is mumbo jumbo and babbling. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I don't have inside information on sexual abuse accusations against him. I'm more familiar with, you know, years of accusations against him for various physical altercations that he's been involved with other people.
I don't have information about sexual allegations. I do have information about physical altercations. Yet I'm not surprised about sexual allegations. Is that your standards for surprise of everything? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened here. Is that your standard of surprise for everything? Is that how everything works when you're surprised by it? Because in how things work for me, I'm surprised when things don't fit the pattern.
There is real suffering at the heart of this.
When things don't fit a particular pattern, like say for instance, I always see the number 1, I always see the number 2, I always see the number 3, and then an 8 happens to appear. Okay, now I'm kind of surprised because usually I see, you know, those numbers the first numbers that I named. So you didn't have any pattern of it before, but then when this anomaly occurs, you're not surprised by it. Shout out to Crew Reality. Crew Reality says white supremacy always takes both sides of an argument, or they just babble. Because a lot of times they're not even smart enough to take any side of the argument. They're literally just talking to talk, just like how everything that we've watched is just simply talk to talk. It's not even taking a side of an argument. I wouldn't even give them as much credit as to say that they even showed as much structure and integrity as to take a side of an argument. They're literally just saying whatever sounds good. I'm taking the side of the argument that nothing that they say can be trusted. That's my side of the argument. My side of the argument is always to show the cracks of information integrity in any time that they report, to make it where we have to go back and question everything that they say, because they shouldn't have the pass of just being validating information simply because of who they are. Their media sucks. They don't come with references. They don't have the same evidentiary requirements for themselves that they attempt to hold for other people, and that has to be exploited. That's always my side of the argument. And that's the side of the argument that they can't take, because then they would have to self-expose, which is why my advice to people would be to always show the flaws in reporting and always show the inconsistencies with the data, always show the double standards. If they're talking about something, always just talk about them. You know what I'm saying?
Developing now, federal officials are telling the New York Post they were acting on specific allegations of sex trafficking when they raided 2 of Sean Diddy Combs' multi-million-dollar mansions Monday. They're also saying his alleged victims have not been holding.
I want you guys to pay very close attention to, in white media, a lot of times, one thing that you'll find more interesting is that they'll do an hour-long special on something that they don't have evidence about, but they'll do a 2-minute, 2-sentence brush over of what they do have evidence of. What they do have evidence of, guns were found. What they don't have evidence of, we've watched 2 hours and 22 minutes worth of information on. One thing that you will notice about white media is that white media will create massive amounts of content about speculation and minimum amounts of content about actual validating, verifying data. There's rules of information integrity that shows that that's not optimal reporting. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And that needs to be tested, and it needs to be brought up all of the time until the integrity of this illegitimate media is actually put on trial. Because as of right now, what we have is the entire world that, for whatever reason, is intimidated to go up against this weak apparatus. We live in a bad place when people are afraid to go up against weakness. And that's what we had. This is weak. Look how weak this is. This is trash. You know what I'm saying? Garbage. All the lights, all the bells, all the whistles, and nothing behind it. You know what I'm saying? A pretty house that's not finished on the inside with no foundation or basement. That's what this is. You know what I'm saying?
Back during interviews. Let's bring in filmmaker and director Mike Dorsey, who produced the movie Murder Rap: Inside the Biggie and Tupac Murders. Thanks for being with us. What do you make
Thanks for having me.
You got it. What do you make of these claims from the victims who seem to be saying not only is he guilty of sexual assault of individual people, but of these wider crimes involved?
Right. I agree with Crew Reality, right? Crew Reality says they show us what they want us to focus on, right? And knowing that that's what they do, you would think that by this time, people would have said, we need to show ourselves what we need to see. So we need to stop expecting them to show anything other than incorrect information. And we need to start creating our own correct information with rules of information integrity that's superior to the nonsense that they show. They've never been forced to compete with us for our own attention, which I think is something sad. You know what I mean? I don't know why that is, but it is, but it is. People still have it seems like people have an expectation of they should show us the right thing. Honestly, I don't think that they should. The way that things are is exactly how they should be. If you're dealing with people that you want to keep constrained or under control, you do things to constrain them and keep them under control. And that's exactly what they're doing. If you want to gain control and strengthen yourself, then you do activities to gain control and strengthen yourself. And what it seems like is that it seems like most people have not realized that we have a necessity to need to gain control and strengthen ourselves. And they're under the impression that there should be some form of integrity as to what other people are feeding us. And there's no inner, you know what I'm saying? There's not really anything to enforce that. If you ask me, nobody has an obligation to feed you anything of higher quality than what you feed yourself. So if you allow yourself to starve and somebody decides to feed you a turd and you eat it, why did you allow yourself to starve? And then instead of getting your own food that you know would be specific to your nutritional needs, why did you just take whatever slop somebody gave you? When it comes to the mainstream media is the slop that somebody else gave you. And then we sit there and we'll ask the question, well, why did they feed us slop? The answer is simply because they can, and because you know what I'm saying, we'll allow it. I think that people need to understand the importance of recognizing that, not allowing it, and having a more strict requirement of higher quality, more specifically tailored information delivery. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Involving sex trafficking rings.
On that, we'll just have to wait and see where it goes. I'm not as I don't have inside information on sexual abuse accusations against him. I'm more familiar with, the years of accusations against him for various physical altercations that he's been involved.
Shout out to my man Tim. Shout out to my man Tim. It's not meant to hurt. You know what I'm saying? I think that what it's meant to do is to try to get people to understand a needs recognition. Like there's specific things that we need. And I think that if we recognize the things that we need, we'd be able to mitigate a lot of our problems very easily. Would you agree? I think that like people have, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that we have too high of expectations for other people. And I don't think that we have expectations that are appropriate to ourselves based on our needs. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. And I think that when people realize that, people start addressing those specific things, like I said, bro, it'll just be a matter of time, and you will see the change happen so quick. It's just a matter of they need to maintain that state of dormancy to where people don't question anything or see a need for control. When people start seeing that need, they'll say, hey, wait a minute. This is one of the reasons why things hasn't been working for so long. We need to control this completely. We need to give people options. See, we a lot of times we don't have options, and then we complain about the options that we have. We could always create more options, but in the conditions that we've been living under, we've never looked at ourselves as our own alternative when we are. You know what I'm saying? We are. We just have to understand that and then materialize onto it. You know what I mean? And real quick, shout out to Extent with the, I believe, is that 10 pounds or 10 euros? I think it's 10 pounds. Shout out to you, Extent. I appreciate it, bro. Make sure you guys show Extent some love. Please throw some flames, radiation emoji, ducks in the chat. Definitely appreciate it. He is the 8th stream sponsor. I appreciate you guys.
With other people. So it was not that surprising when this came out, but this is the first that I had heard of sexual abuse and sex trafficking accusations.
So tell us about what you are familiar with, the past accusations that have been made against him over the last decades.
Absolutely. I mean, it goes back to at least 1998. There was a music executive named Steve Stout who claimed that Sean Combs and 2 other men assaulted him in his office over a music video that Combs didn't like. He was beaten allegedly with a champagne bottle. There was a settlement paid out of that to make charges go away. There was a nightclub shooting in New York a year later that Combs was charged with, was also acquitted for. And then over the years he's had various
Now again, out of all of these old cases that he's talking about, what of any of what he's saying makes it seem that Diddy is the quote unquote Epstein of hip hop? It sounds to me like he more like beating people up. There's a big difference between beating people up and being a quote unquote Epstein. Shout out to AB Promotions. It wasn't one of your champagne bottles, was it? It wasn't one of your champagne bottles, wasn't it? Was it? It was that barefoot. You know what I'm saying? That barefoot. What was that stuff called? What's the name of that? Oh yeah, that barefoot red Moscato. It wasn't one of them, was it?
Profile physical altercations with people in the music industry. And then in 2015, there was the brawl with the strength and conditioning coach at UCLA, where his son Justin was a player on their football team, where the man's shirt was ripped and his face was scratched. And then Combs allegedly, as he was being escorted out of the weight room, swung a kettlebell at an intern. So the list goes on. And then the sexual abuse accusations, I think, really took off late last year with Cassie Ventura, his ex-girlfriend, filing her $30 million lawsuit against him and making all these claims about sex parties and that she was forced to have sex with male prostitutes, physical abuse, some really horrible accusations.
So, Mike, when you heard about
now again, these male prostitutes, they should be getting charged as well, right? Because if she was forced, then the person who facilitated the forcing and the person who actually was involved directly in the sex act would both they would all be liable, right? Shout out to my man AB Promotions. He's a 9th stream sponsor. I appreciate you, bro. AB says, I only drink champagne. I'm dead, bro. Now, all of this stuff that they're talking about as far as evidence or as far as speculation, why hasn't any of this been used to actually bring Diddy into custody? See, we got to keep asking that question. So now what's going on? Let me ask you guys this. Out of watching all of the content that's been done about Diddy, what new information have you come across? Has anybody come across any new information? What new information have you come across where you're like, you know what, man, I knew it. I knew it. If anybody has any new piece of data, right? A new piece of data that has occurred where you definitively know or has been definitively linked to evidence of sex trafficking, let me know. And also please leave a link to it in the comment section on the replay, #replay gang or #replay, or in the comment section here if you're watching on the live stream.
Out Cassie's charges, which then sort of went away under the terms of some kind of private deal that they struck. Were you surprised to hear those allegations against Diddy? How would you describe the way you felt?
No, and I actually thought it was interesting that one of the accusations she claims tied back to the rivalry between the record labels, the East Coast, West Coast rivalry between Bad Boy Records, Combs's label, and Death Row Records in LA, which is, what my film is about. And she claimed that there was an incident where someone came in and told Combs that Suge Knight was at a...
So as you guys can see here, now he's trying to link this stuff back to his movie to get some movie money. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard, but Suge Knight has been putting out statements about this stuff.
A diner nearby, and she claims that Combs grabbed some guns and went out the door to try and confront Knight over this. So that was interesting to me, and that would have been years.
Which is interesting because Suge Knight, let me ask you guys this question. Has Suge Knight ever substantiated this? Has Suge Knight ever come out and said anything about it? Now, mind you, just because he hasn't said anything about it doesn't mean that's not saying it's true or false, right? But, and shout out to MC Fact for putting that link in the chat. But again, what is this proving as far as sex trafficking? What new information is coming from any of this?
Years after the murders of Tupac and Biggie, it just showed me that he still had this crazy animosity over that so many years later that he would try to confront Suge over it.
Yeah, well, to a lot of us, it's surprising. But thanks so much for coming in and sharing your insight into this and what you do know. Very illuminating. We appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah, thank you.
I mean, literally nothing came out of that. You know what I mean? So like the question is like, what is that supposed to do? What is that supposed to do? What are we supposed to be convinced of here? You know what I mean? The Los Angeles Times came out with an article. Inside the Sean Diddy Combs raid, emptied safe, dismantled electronics, gun-toting feds. You know what they don't have on this list here? Definitive evidence leading to an arrest of P. Diddy. That's not what they don't have that in the title. So now, again, you got to ask yourself this question, like, where is all of this stuff coming from? Where, like, just every day, there's just massive videos on YouTube, massive amounts of videos on YouTube, massive amounts of news reports coming out. We got evidence, brand new evidence. We got brand new evidence, evidence this, evidence that. Where's the evidence? We know for sure Diddy's done. How? Because there's a focus on him now? Where's the proof? Inside the Sean Diddy Combs raid, empty safe, dismantled electronics, gun-toting feds, yet no Diddy in handcuffs, no Diddy in a jail cell. That's what we have as of right now. It was a major show of force, dozens of agents, some heavily armed, descending on Sean Diddy Combs' estates in Los Angeles and Miami. Television news helicopters captured the action as Department of Homeland Security agents served a search warrant. Now, mind you, they have a search warrant, no arrest warrants yet, in what officials described as an investigation into alleged sex trafficking. Claims the music legend denies. Homeland Security investigators yelled for those inside the star's Homely Hills mansion to come out with their hands in the air. Combs' adult sons later told their father they had lasers pointed at them as they emerged from the home, sources told the Times. Combs himself was in Florida at the time. But much remains unknown about the case and how close authorities are to determining whether to file criminal charges. Why is that? See, that's important. That's the stuff that we got to ask about. So now when it comes to the definitive statements that the mainstream media has made, the definitive statements that the mainstream media has made is that definitively we don't have any information as of right now. That's the only definite. The only definite is that we don't have enough to prosecute on. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. If you have not smashed the like button, please take a moment, smash the like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. What do we know about the searches? Here's a rundown of what we know and what we don't. I guarantee you the what we know part is going to be a lot shorter than the what we don't know part because they don't know anything. If they knew everything, then the article would be about what they knew, not about speculation. Anytime there's repeated articles, repeated content, repeated anything written about speculation, the reason why the speculation is the content is because the actual evidence doesn't exist to be analyzed. Okay. So now here it says, what do we know about the searches? Let's find out about the searches. Sources with knowledge of the operation who requested anonymity because they are not authorized to discuss it publicly said it appears investigators searching Combs' Homely Hills home as emptied safes, dismantled electronics, and left papers strewn in some rooms. Federal agents disabled his security system and seized the hard drive, sources told the Times. That tracks with some legal experts expected investigators would seek if trying to quote unquote build a sex trafficking case against the hip hop mogul. Dimitri Gordon, a former LA County sex crimes prosecutor who is now in private law practice, said investigators would likely seek authorization to search for videos or photographs on any devices connected to the target, anywhere where digital images can be found in connection to sexual conduct that would have been recorded. It's unclear what was recovered in the bi-coastal searches. Now, here's my question for you guys. Why is it unclear? Why is it unclear what's been found in these searches? They literally, it's been a couple days now. What have they got? Federal authorities spent several hours at both homes. Sources said Combs was in Miami at the time, but was not at his Florida home when the raid occurred. No one has been arrested in connection with the investigation. Again, I want to reinforce this. Why has no one been arrested yet? Not enough information for a search warrant. That's why. Or for an arrest warrant. That's why. When that day comes, if it comes, then there'll be arrests. But as of right now, it's not happening. Although two of Combs' sons were briefly detained on the Homely Hills property, and Brennan Paul, a man described in a recent lawsuit against Combs as a confident and drug mule, was arrested in a Miami airport at the same time the raids were being conducted. Yet he was arrested in regards to charges that didn't have anything to do with Diddy. Okay. Miami-Dade police took Paul, who was 25, into custody on suspicion of possession and cocaine, marijuana-laced candy, records show. Again, nothing involving Diddy. Where does the case stand? I need you guys to let me know about this in the comment section. Where does the case stand? Where are we at with it? Where are we at with this case? Is there a case? Where are we at with it? Where are we currently in our quest for quote unquote finding the truth? Sources told the Times that Combs is the subject of a sweeping inquiry into sex trafficking allegations and sexual assault. The investigation comes after 4 women filed civil lawsuits accusing Combs of rape, assault, and other abuses dating back 3 decades. One of the allegations involved a quote unquote minor. Okay. A source familiar with Homeland Security's criminal inquiry said investigators have interviewed some of the people tied to the sex trafficking allegations in the lawsuit against Combs. They have convinced one or more federal magistrates that they had enough probable cause for one or more search warrants. Now, let me ask you guys this. Is probable cause for a search warrant different than probable cause of filing charges? They have to have certain amounts of evidence and circumstance and everything else to be able to file charges, right? Given the scope of the investigation, it seems that they are further along than most investigations, but further along in which direction? Further along in saying that we don't have anything, or further along in saying that we're going to be taking this to court soon? Because I don't see anything that's showing me that we're going to be in a courtroom about this other than civil trials anytime soon. Gorin said the allegations involving a minor could be a key focus in the inquiry. If a minor is moved across state lines for the purposes of sex, that is enough, at least for an argument of sex trafficking, because somebody underage cannot consent, Gorin said. And again, this is what ifs. Sex trafficking for adults usually involves some sort of coercion or other restraints, he said, and can be tougher to prove. Prosecutors would need to show you encourage somebody to engage in sexual activity for money or for some other inducement. Okay. What is Diddy's camp saying? So we already know what Diddy's camp is saying, and voila, end of the article. Why the end of the article? Because there's not much to be said. For the most part, the only things that are being said is speculation. And the speculation is being given credence as if it's fact. Shout out to Jay. What's good with it, bro? Okay. So that's where we are with that. All right. Now, all the live streams and all the topics all the Diddy coverage that I do, it'll all be on this channel. And the reason why it'll all be on this channel is because this is where all the videos that I've done about Diddy are. All right. So I'm going to try to do another stream to finish up some of the stuff that I had that I want to talk about tomorrow. And as new stuff comes, it'll come. All right. We're going to talk about it on this channel. All right. So if you're not subscribed, make sure that you hit the bell icon twice. Shout out to everybody. I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the stream sponsors. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the green team. Make sure you guys spam the chat. Show some love to all of the stream sponsors. We had 9 this live stream. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate it. Shout out to Mr. King for becoming a member. We're getting close to 100 members. If you're watching on the replay, consider becoming a member. It's only 99 cents and it helps tremendously. Shout out to Katsy for being a member for 17 months. I appreciate you, Katsy. Shout out to Miss Nisi and happy birthday to Miss Nisi. She never put her Cash App in the chat. At least I didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, if she does, if you put it in the comment section or something, I'll pin it. Make sure y'all shoot her a Cash App. Tell her happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AB Promotions with the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Jay Bird for being a member for 22 months. I appreciate you. Shout out to Lunch with the $12 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to my man TD with the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. Shout out to Extent with the 10 pounds. I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to AB Promotions with the $1.99 super chat. I appreciate it. And shout out to Val and shout out to Carla for being members for 19 months, man. Shout out to the OG members in the building. All right. Denise said no money, Rob. See, so she not giving us the Cash App. She ain't trying to get, you know what I'm saying? She ain't trying to get pizzade on that birthday, Griff. It is what it is. But if you change your mind, throw your Cash App in the chat and I'll pin it and we'll get it popping. All right. So we're gonna try to wrap this up tomorrow unless something new comes out, which nothing new will probably come out. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? And as always, ladies and gentlemen,